We're just normal men.
What do you mean, normal men?
We're just innocent men.
It's time for Side Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig.
I did. Oh, wow! Right on the tip. Just on the tip.
And Blabs. Co-hosted by our friends from around the internet.
There is a portion of Norway where it is legally required to carry a firearm at all times.
If you're just a normal man looking for common sense in this crazy-ass world, you've come to the right place. And now, broadcasting from our homes from around the internet, it's time for Side Scrollers.
Okay, you ready? Open wide!
Oh, welcome on out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com and SideScrollersPodcast.com. What's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday to ya. Hello, hello, hello. I am Stuttering Craig. Good to see you guys. Man, we got a good one today. We got a lot going on. As always, the internet has certainly given it all of the content of... Hello, Blabs.
Were you talking like Mike Tyson just then?
Yeah, little Mike Tyson. Gotta go with a lisp.
I just realized today is International Men's Day according to Twitter, so happy International Men's Day to all the trans women out there. Yay! Way to steal our sports. You got this, bro. Anyway, hi.
Well, here in the first 1 minute and 40 seconds of the show, we've
we've
now officially been demonetized off YouTube. Thank you for that. Once again, all your support today is great. And you got a music stop to start the show.
Shout out Twitter for showing me that today's the day.
Way to go, X. Way to go. Let's go. All right. Joining us today, it is Tuesday. Back after a brief hiatus of coughs and sniffles, and both personally and the computer, he's back ready to go. It's our monochromatic wonder, Razor Fist. Hello.
Why, hello.
Great to see you. How's it going, buddy?
With a healthy, fortifying, vitamin-packed smoothie in tow. I'm going to do a quick commercial. No, not really. This stream does contain product placement.
That's right. Oh, shit. Look at Blabs' horrible glasses. Look at
How
those
dare
things.
you? They're my Spectre sticks.
Oh, no. What are we looking at?
You're just as sane as I am.
I guess. Those look like they should be painted on a wall at Nickelodeon Studios.
I mean, it's literally on my wall.
Right.
I got my glasses for free from the places where I get my kids braces.
Yeah?
That's where I got my glasses from.
What?
So, yeah. So there you go. That's it. I got the free.
You notice that's a thing, by the way. Have you been to the dentist recently? They will offer you now sunglasses.
Some of them do, yeah.
It's like while you're getting your work done.
Yeah, it's
so
like,
you don't look at the light.
For the light, yeah, I guess. And they're always like bad 90s sunglasses, like the kind you get at like 7-Eleven in like 1999, right? The like wrap around, hi, I'm a drug dealer. Like those kind of the Limp Bizkit sunglasses.
Oh man. Fred Durst coming in while you're getting your root canal.
Right?
Going hard. Gotta have faith.
Making bad music, being inexplicably based.
Man, Limp Bizkit, dude. I'll tell you what. There's something wonderful about going back. Have you listened to any Limp Bizkit in the last 6 months?
Not voluntarily.
Whoa! Hold on, Blabs. You don't know who Limp Bizkit is?
No, should I?
Come on.
This you can't be serious
Razor
right now.
Fist literally just said not voluntarily, so it's not like I'm missing out.
It's true.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this right now, Blabs. Limp Bizkit was the quintessential late 90s, early 2000s rock band, rap rock band, I would say. Fred Durst was the guy. He had a backwards red hat at all times. That was his thing, the red cap.
Totally not because he's bald. Like the dude freaking not even.
Nope. Incorporated their wonderful hit song My Way into the amazing WrestleMania 17 promo between The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, we're talking some of the best 90s music ever. I'm just saying.
If If you say so. If you insist, Craig.
Dude, listen, if you can't tell me there aren't songs that you don't bounce your fucking head to, man, there are some good songs back in the day.
I wish I could bounce his head to it.
Hey, Nookie, I did it all for the Nookie. What? The Nookie. What? My Way, My Generation. Man, let's go. Rolling. We rolling. You never heard any of these, Blabs?
I'm just ignoring you at this
She's
point.
not a devotee of classic rock radio.
Hey,
how ridiculous is that, by the way? Limp Bizkit is on classic rock radio, so is
I mean, we have Beyonce on country, so anything's possible.
Stained is on classic rock radio in the same rotation as AC/DC. Like, what are we even doing? What is the human race doing? What are we even? Why even pretend anymore?
Listen,
Sweet meteor of death, come quickly.
we wake up every day. I'll tell you, it's been a couple weeks since we've seen you, Razor, and the world has shifted a little bit in a major way since the last time
I haven't been paying attention. Did Kamala win?
Yeah, well, sorry, Razor. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for a
Damn it, I had like $500 on her.
He was like, I'm with her.
Right.
You didn't have $700,000? Yes, it's her turn. That's right. She's got to wait a little bit longer, though, unfortunately. But you don't have to wait to follow us over on Rumble at rumble.com/sidescrollers. Also over on X, which we're not live over on X today, and we haven't been for like a week. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. I'll need to figure that out, but we'll get over there eventually. No one really watches over there anyways, but we do it just because it's
Great
fun.
advertisement there. Nobody watches us anyway. It's fine.
But you could follow over X to find out that Razor's going to be on the show, as well as various clips and stuff from the show, right, Blabs?
Right, and you can follow us on Instagram too for the same stuff, but only different because it's Instagram, and there's memes over there too. Just saying.
All right. We also have the Kick account, and you can watch the show over on Apple Podcast and Spotify as Blabs tries to crunch through her internet uploads yesterday. The 2 gigabyte file. Oh, so yesterday was the first time we uploaded the full video podcast over to Apple Podcast and Spotify yesterday, Razor.
Oh, God.
And I got a message from Blabs about 15 minutes after the show, and she goes, I'm sorry, I can't do this. It's the internet. It hurts my computer.
Dude, it took me twice as long just to do stuff. I couldn't even open up Google sometimes. It just wouldn't load. I was like, what the fuck's going on here? But I think it's a Spotify issue because sometimes like I have issues uploading stuff to Spotify where I have to re-upload multiple times. It's great.
Well, Blabs is like running a word processor from like 1998.
No, it's just we have slow upload speeds where I live because it's the middle of nowhere, so they don't give a shit about us. But like Spotify, whoo, yeah, took me an hour.
Well, I'll say this.
Blabs' PC is by Texas Instruments.
Yes,
I have a vengeance. I got a Batman.
You got a TI-83 broadcasting from today.
Calculator.
Yes, it's a calculator.
I never even had one of those. I had something else that was really cool, and everyone called it the ghetto later because I didn't understand how to use it, but it was so much more high tech than their fucking TI-89 crap, whatever it is. So
What column on the abacus are you on? Is it the light blue yet, or still on the white?
Oh my God. Well, anyways, I'll be uploading that over onto Spotify today. And we also have our Side Scroller Shorts channel. What's that, Blabs?
It's like, because I can't get there.
Because you can't even figure out how to go to Spotify.com.
Listen, I have a bookmark, so I don't have to have that problem. Thank you very much.
Oh, excellent.
I just
well, thank you.
click Spotify on my bookmarks, and boop, goes right to the upload.
Good for you, Blabs. Excellent job.
You couldn't even figure it out. You're like, oh, how do we upload to Spotify again?
I really didn't know.
Exactly. So don't try taking shots at me when the fingers are pointing back at you, and there's 3 of them.
That's right. That's right, Blabs. You point one finger, you got 3 points.
There were 3 metaphors in there, and you just mixed them all. Like, you didn't even try to make them fit.
It's good.
What is a metaphor?
Yeah, so shoot your best shot, because when you point your finger, there's going to be hell to pay, and good intentions are paved on the road.
And make sure you don't cross it with the chicken. Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Oh, my God. Well, if you are new to us over here on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. We are at 107,985 normal men. If there's 15 of you out there who have not found us yet, hit that subscribe button. Join the common sense side of the internet, which is great. Also, let's do our best to get to 1,337 thumbs up. So go over there and do that. Also, quick announcement. We have a new category for the Real Game Awards. It is the best DLC an expansion category. It's going to be our final category, probably, unless the Game Awards does something to fuck up, which we'll take advantage of. But go over there and
I got one for you.
What's that?
Best live sex act performed by Kojima and Keeley on stage at the Game Awards. Because I'm predict that is happening. That is happening.
It's funny you mention that because I do have the intro laid out in my mind for what we're gonna do for the Real Game Awards and how it's gonna. It's
how
in my
much
mind.
light sobbing from Kojima is going to be in there.
No,
Poor Kojima, you had a very, very, very profitable job and got laid off because you were bad at it.
Well, I'll say this: if anybody is an animator, like a good animator, I'm looking for an animation studio or person to get some work done for us. And if anybody is a 3D printer or a really good 3D printer, I'm going to need to utilize your skills as well. They will be paid, so reach out to me if you have those skill sets. So I'm looking for those folks right now. So also head over to therealgameawards.com. Use promo code SIDESCROLLERS. Get $5 off your voting membership. We're closing in on 800 voting members, which is spectacular over there. So thank you very much. Let's keep on keeping on. All right, Blabs, please fill us in on today in video game history because it's a big one.
It's a birthday! Okay, so Sonic CD was released today, back in 1993. We also have Half-Life releasing back in 1998. And then, happy birthday to the Nintendo Wii, releasing back today in 2006. Yay!
That's a tough one right
Nintendo
there.
Wii's legal.
Gross.
I remember Half-Life being like the first game where, like, for the longest time, first-person shooters, they would be like 2D sprites of a person.
Yeah.
And you would shoot them and you'd get the same animation when they died or whatever. Half-Life was the first one where you could, like, blow somebody's arm off or blow somebody's leg off. And then the body parts would flop everywhere. And, like, that was the first time I'd ever seen that. I'm sure it happened before that, but...
There's always this... the first time you see like gratuitous violence in video games, it really resonates with you, you know?
Yes.
Right? You're like,
remember the Turok death animations? The freaking jeez. You'd shoot the guy in the neck and the fountainous sputum of blood would just shoot out like 9 feet. Brilliant. Brilliant.
That is a franchise that I think they tried to bring it back like a decade ago. And
if you call that bringing it back, yeah.
Right. They tried to. But I think if they brought it back in its purest form, just like some Indian dude running around with an arrow, with a bow and arrow.
Surrounded by dinosaurs and random 90s commando guys.
I'm just saying, like, it works. It's a great formula for video games, especially today. There's a massive audience for that. With that said, Blab, some noticeable games that you missed today include Road Rash for the Sega Genesis. Remember that one, Razor?
It's a brilliant game.
Yes. Now look, I can't say that you'd bump any of these off, right, Blabs? Road Rash would be like number 4 or 5 on the list here. Mm-hmm. So you did fine. Return to Castle Wolf.
Put it over Sonic CD. God, I just raised the ire of all the Christians.
Return to Castle Wolfenstein 23 years ago in 2001. 18 years ago. This doesn't sound right because I don't believe this is accurate, but I don't think Zelda Twilight Princess was a launch title for the Wii. Was it? Was it? I don't think it was.
I know they ported it over to it, and it makes sense that they would. Yeah, it kind of makes sense to me that it would, but I didn't have a Wii at the time, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I played it on GameCube.
There is a Wii game, Zelda Twilight Princess. Yep, it exists.
Yeah, but I didn't know it was released on launch day. Okay, I guess it was. Screw me. All right, great.
Okay, shut up.
Oh, I'm saying Blaze Blue.
Your freedom.
Yeah.
Blaze Blue Calamity Trigger 16 years ago in the arcade in 2008. Yeah. The Saboteur. Hitman Absolution for PC 12 years ago. Also, Shenmue 3, 5 years ago for the PlayStation 4 and PC. And, there was one that was pointed out over on the X, thanks to Shane Bentley, who came in. He said 5 years ago, this is in November 19th, 2015, one of the more underrated games on our list. My virtual gay boyfriend.
There we are.
I
was
bet you Craig played that a lot.
Yeah, I
There
was
we are.
really big on that one for sure. So
What was his name? Ramon?
Ramon. It was Ramon, not Ramon. Get out of here. you
Is he
uncultured
virtually
swine.
gay or virtually a boyfriend? Is my question.
Virtually both. Anyways. So yeah, my virtual
Or is
gay boyfriend.
STDs and daddy issues virtual? Is my real question here.
Oh my gosh. Well, there we go. If anybody went out and played My Virtual Gay Boyfriend for Blab, see if you can find that game.
Why?
Just
You
see.
want me to play it?
Yeah, actually, I do. I would like you to play it right now. Forget everything we're doing about the show. I just want to be able to go to your screen and see you playing that at all times. I think that'd be
Yeah,
fun
okay.
to do during the show. But
It's an app now. Wow.
oh, good.
It's a
There we
mobile
are.
game released back in 2015.
Yeah, I know. I just said that.
I know, but I'm repeating it because I just saw it on Amazon.
Hey, Savjay came in and says, question for Craig and Razor. If you were a professional wrestler, whose finisher would you absolutely refuse to take? Mine would be Yokozuna's bonsai drop.
Yeah, forget about it. Apparently, he was pretty safe to work with, but dude, did you ever see him just squash jobbers literally, like on freaking Superstars? He like liquefied a dude's sternum with his ass one time. Like, there's no way. You couldn't pay me enough. I don't want to work in WWF that badly.
Yeah, for me, it would have been Rikishi Stinkface. I don't have a whole lot of fun. Like, the idea of receiving a grown man's giant ass in my face doesn't sound very appealing to me.
Yeah.
So, that's one of those.
Plus,
like,
he could do anything. There could be anything in that thong. Like,
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's
Like, you
fucked
ever hear
up.
the story about Mae Young doing
No.
doing the Bronco Buster on a dude?
No.
No, I forget who it was. If it was Patterson or who the heck it was, but she's backstage, and I forget who told this story in a shoot interview. And she's kind of getting ready to go out to the curtain, and she turns to the person, and she has a can of sardines.
Oh no.
And she's like, and she shoves them down her freaking pant. For those who don't know what the Bronco Buster is, I don't know if we have a visual demonstration, but you literally set up the dude in the corner. He's sitting there, and you set your junk on his face and hop up and down repeatedly. Basically, it's a move only X-Pac could come up with. So yeah, sardines right in the face. Mae Young.
Here is the Bronco Buster from back in the day, Blabs, for your reference. This is, imagine an 80-year-old woman doing this.
It's high in
Aw,
omega-3
damn it.
fatty acids.
Oh my God. Awesome. Spectacular. I love everything about that.
Yes.
Wrestling, man. Wrestling's the best. It's so good.
At one
It
time.
We
was.
have different definitions of what is the best.
It was the best. Mercenary says, and the government says, Razor, so you hear about the shenanigans in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. Oh boy, they're finding all kinds of things going on in the place, possibly worse than Maricopa. He says, and the government going after Steam reminds me too much of people trying to go after X. There's an agenda here because as bad as Steam is still more free speech, and some people don't like it. Thank you, Mercenary. Well, first, did you hear about this stuff going on in Bucks County? I don't even know what he's talking
It's
about.
the only place where anyone's talking about any kind of electoral shenanigans, really. And that's mainly because the guy's not really a Trump guy. So they actually spent money on his race. So the GOP are actually looking into that one. But all the people they don't like, they're not looking into it. So Arizona, Nevada, they don't care about those ones. But Pennsylvania, we're allowed to talk about.
Why is that?
Again, they didn't spend any money on any of those other races, just on the Pennsylvania one. So
I see. Lance Corporal Hawk came in and says, Razor, I just recently finished Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess. You were right. I not only love it, it's one of my favorites of the series. Still hoping for you to do an eventual retrospective on the series.
yeah, it's a great game.
Twilight Princess. Good stuff right there. Andrew came in and says, Razor, what are some of your most visually impressive movies you've seen besides Blade Runner?
A lot of them would be Ridley Scott movies. Alien, Legend, Dark City is not a Ridley Scott movie, but it's a freaking gorgeous movie. Lord of the Rings, all three of them are really, except the third one, the CGI gets really bad. I just gotta say, with some of the battle sequences.
You mean with the giant elephant?
Rose-colored glasses taken off. Yes, some of that Legolas stuff, not so much.
Legolas is Jesus. He flies.
Kind of, yeah.
Mike says, 3D artist here. Craig, what's your email address? You can email me at craigskitspodcast@gmail.com. That's skits with a Z at the end of it. David says, the YouTuber Sparky's World made an incredible video about Sonic CD. It's almost 8 hours long. Holy shit. But it's worth watching to truly understand how special that game is. Wow. Okay, David, spent 8 hours.
Video essays are so out of pocket at this point, dude. Like,
some of them can be really good. If they're
how
like,
far? No, come on. How far removed are we from just a loon screaming on a street corner about a thing that he likes? Like, that's kind of where we're at.
There's a lot of them that do it really tastefully, and it's really nice, and it's like a nice homage to something they enjoy.
Yeah.
Now, an 8-hour one, I would never sit through it. I would never sit through an hour one, to be completely honest. But like a 30-minute, 20-minute one, no problem.
God, I hope it has sonically non-threatening car commercial 80s vaguish synthesizer sounding music in the background. I hope it has some of that. Gosh, that would be a rare occurrence in a video essay on YouTube.
All right, well, we do see every single one of your super chats, every single one of your Rumble rants, every single one of your locals tips and direct donations, and we'll read every single one of them throughout the show. Appreciate your support today. But right now it's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody, the world's favorite segment. It is time for Hard News. Hard News. All right, so there's been a big conversation over the last, I don't know, 10 years, 15 years about physical versus digital goods. Blabs found this video over on Instagram, and she wanted to share it. It's a nice little comedy over here by a creator named Dino Cornell. Dino Cornell it looks like a nice young man over here with 1.3 million followers over on X. He is, as his profile says, the ultimate nerd. Blabs, do you follow Dino?
No, I don't think I do. I just see his stuff from time to time.
Okay, there you go. Well, he has this video out about buying physical games then versus buying physical games now. Now, can I play the audio of this? I don't remember.
I don't remember either. Give it a try. We'll find out.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you're probably fine. There you are.
It's true.
It's funny because it's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing, Blabs.
It kind of reminds me of like the transition from DVD to Blu-ray, right? Where like we upgraded, but then there was less stuff. Like we didn't get any special features anymore on most of these. We didn't get like, the multi-disc. They'd come with like a little book with essays in it and whatever on the DVD, but the Blu-ray was some crappy transfer from like the 90s. There was nothing extra on it.
What was it like the first time you received, or have you ever bought a physical game with that wasn't actually a physical game? It was a box that you opened up and you received a downloadable code in it. You ever had that before?
I don't think I've ever had where no, because every time I've bought for Xbox, it always had the CD, but the thing was there's always so many updates, right? So it wasn't really like the fun game.
The scummiest thing is the removal of the manual. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Because do you remember how they rationalized getting rid of the manual? I think a lot of people have forgotten. It was the Great Recession. Remember?
Oh, 2008?
2008. They stopped doing manuals. Oh, we're cutting down on costs and also, and then this was brilliant, we're helping the environment.
Yes.
Remember, this is around the same time the 360 cases had the stupid eco recycling symbol crap cut out in them because it's less plastic to use.
Right.
It's better for the environment. Like, what? What are you even
Yeah.
talking about? Meanwhile, they're all cranking these things out in a factory that's spitting poison and into the air and water. Like what?
Right,
Yeah,
right.
it makes me laugh because all these ones were like, oh yeah, better for the environment, and then like 10 years later, they're like, so we were wrong. This has been worse for the environment. Take Lego for example. Lego started doing those bricks made out of like recycled, and then they were like, oopsies, no, it's not that resourceful. It's not actually financially feasible or good for the environment. We're going back now.
Yep.
So.
Well, it is fun to look back on physical goods, and I'll tell you this: I think I've definitely turned the corner in my head. And I've always been a champion of physical goods, but the story that we talked about on this show, the VHS copy of Alien Romulus, in my mind, when we were talking about that with the VHS and the idea of having the VHS of a new movie in 2024, in my mind, that kind of turned it just a little bit to where like I need to get more active in collecting physical goods, and I think I'm going to make a better effort of collecting physical goods nowadays. It's just I just need a better company to do it. I don't want to buy it from limited run games.
Yeah, screw limited run.
Yeah.
Screw limited run. This is the problem. They're odious assholes, and there's very, very few companies, unfortunately, that make this stuff.
We need to maybe create an alternative. Like that's that is the next act of my career. I've that's where Side Scrollers is the alternative to traditional podcast. The Real Game Awards is the alternative to Jeff Keighley's award show, right? I want to create alternatives to all this.
You're living a regular alternative lifestyle, Craig.
That's right. That's right. And being flamboyant while doing
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Super.
You know what's funny though? How like when we first started this podcast, Craig, you were like, I want to sell some of my physical copies and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you haven't, or at least I
too.
don't think you have.
I'm not. Yeah.
Good.
I was actually very close. I received several
Yeah, I
offers,
remember.
and I had a bunch of physical goods that pretty much my entire game collection. And there's a guy who I'm a big fan of his show. His name, he goes by My Retro Life on YouTube, and he had a video that went up over the weekend about how he sold his stuff like in 2018, and he immensely regrets it. And if you haven't seen his channel, it's phenomenal.
Oh,
Mother-
dude, if
Have
you
you been on
sell
before?
stuff, there is like gamer trauma
yeah.
from selling a console or something. But dude, when my parents got me a Super Nintendo, there was this local game store that was running a bunch of ads at the times. I'll never forget their name. Gamers, right? The bane of my existence. And they were running these ads on TV. They were like one of the first places long before GameStop. This is early 90s, late 80s, or whatever it was. Hey, instead of just buying the Super Nintendo outright, trade in your Nintendo and you can get a Super Nintendo. And of course, my parents were totally taken in by this. So Christmas time rolls around and I get a shiny new Super Nintendo. And I no longer own a Nintendo or any games. Although they didn't get Kung Fu, that was the one they couldn't scrounge that one up. It was somewhere hidden away. But it's like what? And to this day, I do not own an NES. I never replaced it. It's like a trauma that is just deeply embedded.
All right, chat, question for you. What is your gaming trauma? What game was taken away from you? What game did you lose? You traded it with somebody who never got it back. You lost it on the way to school or whatever. You wanted to bring it to school for whatever. We all have those stories. What is it? Let us know in the chat. We'd love to know.
Oh, dude, you want to hear the worst game trade? What was your worst game trade with a friend?
Oh, that's easy. Easy. It wasn't a friend. There was a guy down the street who we didn't really know, but he had, I didn't live in a really populated area. I would say it was a small neighborhood. So, and at the time, video games weren't, not everybody had them.
You were born in a manger. Are you gaming Jesus?
I am gaming Jesus. I'm platform Jesus. You know that much, which is great.
There's a lot of Jesuses in your area, so that
Jesus,
makes
it's
sense.
crazy. That's right.
Most
Christ
in
Almighty,
prison.
let's go. But I had Metroid. Ironically enough, I had the original Metroid, silver cover. By the way, they later redid it with the yellow cover, silver cover Metroid, and you would trade games with your friends. And one of them I traded with the guy down the street who we didn't really know for a game called Trojan. Was a game I always wanted to play. And Trojan was a Capcom arcade game. I didn't know it was an arcade game at the time, but it was a guy with a sword and a shield. It looked pretty cool. And traded Trojan for Metroid, and it was supposed to be like for a week, and never got Metroid back until many years later, and I still have Trojan.
All right, this I can beat that.
Mm-hmm.
Friend comes over. He's got a great big box of games. I had never seen so many games in my life, and most of them I had already played. Okay, Link to the Past. You know, this is NES is out, Super NES is out. It's like we're well into N64, heading into GameCube era. This is a lot later, and I'm like, oh, okay, what's this? What's this? Huh? Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. What is this? I've never even really heard of this one. And so he's like, oh, okay, yeah, let's trade for it. It wasn't a full-on trade. We were just borrowing. And he flips through my games and he goes, oh, I've never played Super Mario RPG. I traded Super Mario RPG for Final Fantasy Mystic Quest.
Wow. That's a
like
tough
the
one.
worst Final Fantasy game that hasn't been made in the last 10 years anyways.
Well, you know, the interesting thing about Mystic Quest is Mystic Quest. I remember my buddy, even back then, my buddy who was really into RPGs. He was like, this game sucks. He was, even in like 1994 when that game came out, whenever it was, like, this game's horrible. It's not fine. I remember him specifically saying, this game's not Final Fantasy. Ugh. Like, it's like, okay.
It had a jump, didn't it? There was a jump button in that game.
You know, just for giggles, I'm always intrigued by what it looks like if you were to have like a Mario RPG. Let me see if I got it real quick. If you had Mario, oh shit. Okay, so let's play the game of how much is it worth? I always like to go to price charting.
And my copy of Mario RPG, by the way, was in the box with the manual. Still, after all that time.
Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, Razor, cost today $57.14.
That's not as bad as I would have thought. But.
Loose price right there. Loose price for Mario RPG, not much better, $59.73, but the complete price $250.
Oh dear God!
New price if it's in the wrapping. $1,400, graded $4,200.
Gosh! And
good
then
trade.
That friend, the best part of that story is that friend. This is just a borrow situation. It wasn't a trade. It turned into a trade because he then moves to New York. He just moves stuff and moves to New York City.
Well, see you later.
Yeah,
find him in Wall Street now.
So long, Stucker. It was a really elaborate plan.
Oh my God! Wait, I think Marmalin has you beat. He says, my nephew was young, and I gave him my Dreamcast and all my games and a PlayStation 1 games to have to play. He then later told me he traded them to GameStop for a PlayStation 3.
What?
Oh my God!
I hope he did something now as an adult to say sorry, because that's shit.
That is fucked up. That's crazy.
That's a shit nephew.
Lance Corporal Hawk came back, says, my mom got rid of our N64 and all the games, didn't replace it with anything, and she didn't think we were playing it enough. I had a gold cartridge Ocarina of Time, and now have an N64 and Ocarina of Time again. Oh, yeah, you got to go back and replace those things. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Emperor Creatine says, in high school, I had a DS with Fire Emblem GBA in it. I took it in my hoodie pocket while getting on the bus. It fell out of the pocket, and I didn't notice until I got home. The game is $300 plus now. Holy crap.
Oh.
Jeez. Jesus. And Hayden came in with the 50. Look at that, Hayden. Everybody enjoy that wonderful reward for you. Hayden says, I had a limited edition Halo OG Xbox. That was the first console I bought with my own money. In 2011, I loaned it and a stack of games to a cousin I had never met. Wait, what?
What?
I loaned it to a cousin I had never met when he got out of prison because Grandma asked me to do it. Never saw it again.
Damn it, Grandma.
Hayden, get fucked, Hayden. Get fucked. Wait, you're telling me the criminal did bad things with your Halo?
What?
Wait, so your criminal cousin took your Halo and he sold it for drug money, Hayden. Get fucked! Sorry.
That's awful.
He was probably one of those guys who pronounced it hello.
Oh my god.
Can I borrow your hello? Thanks.
Hello.
Oh, poor guy. Hayden, I'm sorry, buddy. I just find it so freaking funny.
Someone please gift him a replacement.
Yeah, Hayden, I'll work on getting you a replacement right there. Oh my god, that's funny. Yes, oof.
Damn it, Grandma.
Joey came in and says, when I was a kid, I used to have a neighbor who had Killer Instinct. I was on a hype for Mortal Kombat 2 at the time, so I wanted it. He wanted to trade KI for Super Mario World, so he did. The worst part was that the kid moved moved out just after. Oh my god, kids are shit. Oh my god, Joey, thank you so much for that.
That was the problem, dude, with being I don't call them millennial. There's this generation that were born in like 85 to 91. Jack Basabic calls them centennials. That's as good as anything. You're kind of the last generation before the internet completely took over, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you had an actual social life. But this was the problem with growing up during that generation. There'd just be a kid in the neighborhood who had a thing that you wanted to play with, and suddenly you were friends for life. Right? Like,
that's 100% right.
There was no social contract at all. The kid had like water noodles or something that you could play with in the pool, and that was it. Oh my god! And if you were the kid who had the trampoline, forget about it. Like, dude. But yeah, that's the problem with that is you had these like tertiary relationships with people, and then there was no social contract, so they just steal your stuff. I had a friend steal Mario Kart, original Mario Kart.
Wow, steal it? Just straight up stole it?
Yeah, and what was the entire basis of our relationship? Right? Oh, he had a pool.
He had a pool.
That was it.
That's good. Wow, that's hilarious, man. Mark says my trauma was trading Clay Fighter 63 and a third sculptor's cut for like $10. Yeah. I want to cry still, man. I'm looking that one up as well. Clay Fighter sculptor's cut. I don't think Clay Fighter 63 and a third. Oh, okay, there it is right there. Oh, my God, Mark.
That one is rare.
Holy shit! Loose price,
yikes!
1,000. New price. $12,500. Oh my god!
I knew it, dude. Like that game, you remember Blockbuster would only ever have like one copy of that, like back in the day. Like it was that's one of those games.
Wow.
It's like Chrono Trigger that way. Like everyone loves Chrono Trigger today, but they didn't make that many copies because it didn't actually it wasn't ubiquitous. It wasn't everywhere. It wasn't a huge hit back then.
That is
same thing.
Wow. Armin says, I can't believe Gary from Nerdrotic would steal someone's copy of Halo like that. Sorry for your loss, Hayden. That's funny. We learned that about Gary and Hayden are relatives. Good. Mike says, 20 years ago, I lent my girlfriend at the time almost all my Super Nintendo games except for Super Mario RPG for her cousin to play. We broke up and I never got those games.
I have a story like that. I have Breath of Fire 3. I lost Breath of Fire 3 to a girlfriend. I did.
Wow.
It's a shame. Many such cases.
Jeez Louise. Doc came in and says, when I was 13, I took my Game Boy Color games to the YMCA summer camp and it promptly got stolen only 2 weeks into it. Big sad. At least I finished Oracle of Ages and Seasons. There you go, Doc. Right. Way to look on the bright side. Norm came in and says, I lost my copy of Pokemon Platinum while walking home from a bus stop, which isn't a long walk. To this day, I don't know how I lost it. Sorry, Norm. Sorry for your loss. Man, so many losses in it's crazy. Hey,
I've had Blabs has stolen a lot of games from boys.
Blabs, not only do you steal their games, you steal their hearts.
I steal bitches, hearts, video games, everything.
Brian came in and says, Rollin' is my theme song. Let's go wheeling through life with Brian. I love that. Rollin', rollin', rollin'. Wow. All right, let's get a couple more of these before we move on to our next topic. By the way, love the discussion today, guys. It's great. Some crazy Japanese guy, which I can't actually pronounce that name, says, when I was a kid, I sold my NES and all my games to save for the N64. It took almost 30 years back before we get over 200 NES games and Famicom carts. Wow. I'm sorry I can't say your name, but that's tough to hear, man. 200 NES games and Famicom carts. Yeah, enjoy that. And Victor came in and says, I was forced to sell my entire game collection to pay rent once. Oh, my gosh. Oh. I still feel that pain. Yeah, man. Drastic times.
Never worth it, dude. Never worth it.
Drastic times.
Better off giving blood. Forget about it.
Wow. DB Wild says, speaking of Chrono Trigger and borrowing, Pal borrowed Chrono Trigger. Shortly after, went off to the Marines. About 2 weeks after he left, his stepmom said he sold all his games, including Chrono Trigger. Sorry, DP Wild. That's rough, buddy. That's rough. Man. And Magnum came in and says, the reason I love side-scrollers is I join in the video and I just see Ghibli's bouncing. Hail Razor Fist. Hail Blabs. And last and certainly least, hail Stuttering Craig. Thanks, Magnum. Appreciate that.
Least.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your sweetness right there. Rod came in and says, when I was a kid, my parents bought me for my birthday Demon's Crest. Oh, that's a good one. An X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. And a cousin traded it for Bonkers and Ultraman.
What? Okay, Bonkers is not that bad. Ultraman was a pretty terrible fighting game.
Wait, then the next day his family moved to another city? Rod, get fucked. God dang. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Man, trading that for Ultraman of all games?
Too many people are borrowing games and then moving. This has to be an organized hustle. This is a conspiracy.
I agree. I'm with you, Razor. There was something going on in the 80s and early 90s where people are borrowing games just up and leaving, especially the next day, like Rod over there.
Right?
How do you not, Rod? How do you not know your friend or your cousin or your brother's not like leaving the next day? Right? Like clearly, is an orchestrated endeavor here.
Yes.
A god of the mind, a goad. What is that? A goad? A gogi? A gogi? Of the mind.
Are you having a stroke?
I'm trying to say this name, Blabs. Said had an NES with the original Nintendo storage case. Ooh, the Game Genie Gold Zelda, Mario 1, 2, 3, basically all the classics. Gave it away for free to my cousin who trashed it all in a fit of rage. You got a bad cousin. We got a lot of bad families here. It's
this
ridiculous.
is before everyone was diagnosed with autism, I guess.
Yeah, yes.
We're all autistic together.
Yes.
And Joey says, my dad once sold my NES to a friend of his for his daughter. She never played it because I never gave her the games. Still have them to this day at my parents' house. Well, that's good, Joey. You can replace the NES. You can't replace the games there sometimes. That's good, man. Yep. All right, we do see all your chats. We'll get to all of them throughout the show. Do we have any over on Rumble that need to be hit, Blabs? Or locals?
So we have one from Bentley Guy. What? I have to scroll all the way up. That's why. Bentley Guy for 10 says, well, you know, Razor, Blabs did put a pic of her feet out on the internet. She would fit in Nickelodeon quite well.
What?
You're funny.
Are you Peggy from King of the Hill? Or
Who's that? I've never watched Nickelodeon, so I don't know any characters.
Is there like a Blabs Feet website?
It's funny you mention that. Because
Frost Lord for $1 says I once got kicked out of limited run game store for wearing a Rippaverse hat. LOL. Now I only shop a small local game store. I think Craig just cried a little bit.
What are you doing? Wait, you gonna boot me out for that for bringing up the truth?
No, I just
you trying to silence me, Blabs?
Yes, it's called censorship.
This is the
gaming.
conspiracy.
Lord of the for 2 says, not exactly gaming trauma, but when I was a kid, my mom took my holographic Blastoise and tore it in half because I didn't clean my room. That is sad.
Oh, rough
And then
stuff.
Ree also says, I had the Zelda 2 game and but listed during a trip to Chicago. I guess he means lost. Look up the price now. Zelda 2. Once you look it up, apparently it's worth a lot.
Zelda 2 on what? For what?
He didn't say.
Okay.
Doesn't say. And
right,
then
well.
over on locals, it's Spoon and just says, Savvy loves to steal from kids. Wonder what game she has. No, this is true. Savvy has actually stolen shit from kids before.
Yeah.
She's admitted on the show. It's actually terrible behavior. And I
Kids
hope
have it coming.
She was also a kid.
True.
But that's
True.
still awful because she doesn't even regret it. It's like, bro, you stole it.
Yeah.
Radio Drago came in and says, mine isn't a video game related trauma, but my very first Pokemon card pack in the 90s, I got a shiny Blastoise, and a week later my brother swapped it for a Bulbasaur because another kid convinced him it was better. Sorry for your loss, buddy. Ben came in and says, I couldn't play GameCube games for a while because my dad threw out our GameCube because our Wii could play GameCube games. And I threw out our Wii because the Wii U could play the Wii games. Oh my God, Ben. It's a constant backwards compatibility. Damn it, that backwards compatibility. Right. It's crazy.
Fortunately, we don't have that problem anymore. We're not allowed to play old games. We get them sold back to us with a crappy remaster and a bunch of glitches and bad new voice acting.
Oh my God. Norm came in and says the lesson of today is to never lend anything to your cousins. That's right, Norm. Get it.
The lesson here is to be Ted Kaczynski. Go live in a cabin by yourself with your video game consoles and compose your manifesto. Don't worry about it.
Get out all your old NES games. Just move to the woods and live like it's 1987. It's
the game borrowing cult and its consequences.
Magnum came in and says, "Can we get a Department of gamer word in gaming?" Magnum, you can head that up. Go crazy. Aminthi came in and says, "I let one of my friends borrow a copy of PN03, a rare GameCube game. They apparently lost it. I wasn't too upset until I saw how much it would cost to replace PN03.
I own that. I got
Really?
that toward the end of the GameCube. Yeah, I managed to grab a GameCube right at the tail end of that generation, and that was one of the games I grabbed. It's underrated. It's cool.
The game apparently goes for graded $300. New $125. Nice. Okay, cool. I hadn't heard of that game before. Well, thanks for the heads up on that. Man, I love that stuff. All right, let's keep moving on. Once again, we're going to get to all your super chats and direct donations, all that stuff throughout the show, and we appreciate your stories. They are freaking hilarious. I love it because I know that everybody's gone through this before. Everybody has. So it's great to hear your plight. Yes, except for Blabs right here.
Well, I mean, listen, we got rid of the PlayStation 1 video games, but they're not really worth a whole lot anymore. Like, it's the ones that I had, so it's like, eh.
Well, most of your life, like, games were transitioning into DLC, downloady, right? Like, we were getting away from physical goods, which sucks. We've been kind of doing that slowly since, like, what would you say, like 2007?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Yeah. I would say when Xbox Live really kind of came to fruition, that was where
Steam, of course, yes.
Steam, I think.
I love Steam. I love Steam, but gang, like, if you think those games are anything but a rental, you're kidding yourself.
Right. And as established in California now, they have to mark it as, you don't actually own this for sure.
Like, I still have almost all of my Wii games, even though I don't play any of them. I did sell a few of them, like, many years ago. Like, I sold, like, Guitar Hero, because I'm never going to play that again. Some kid would like that. Things like that, like the Beatles Rock Band, I sold that too. Because it was my sister's game, and I didn't play it anyway, so.
Hey, I'll say this. I actually would love to play Guitar Hero with my kids. We don't. Well, I don't have it.
Get a Wii U.
I'm not gonna. I have a Wii U. It's behind me.
Then get the game.
No, I'm not playing.
It works on the Wii U.
Labs. I'm not buying Guitar Hero for the Wii U.
It costs like $20. You saying you don't want to spend $20 on your children? Oof.
Oh, hey, Razor, did you hear the emotional terrorism that just happened right there?
The judgment.
Yeah, you know what? No, you know what I said? I don't want to spend $20 on a Wii U game, Blabs. That's what I'm saying.
Why not? They won't be around in 20 years. You might as well save it. Since you have children.
No, I'd rather buy it for the 360 or something else. Because I'm a snob.
Right, fine. Get it for the 360. Do you still have one?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, well, then get one.
How wild is it? When you and I were growing up, buying old games was the cheap thing that your parents would do.
Yeah.
Now, like, you got to be Daddy Warbucks to afford an old game.
The market has flipped.
It's a complete inversion.
Yep, the market has definitely flipped for sure. Kyle came in and says, in 03, when I was 8, I traded a copy of Spyro Year of the Dragon for $5 worth of quarters. Also, if you had a GBA in the early 2000s, anticipate a bunch of neighbors' kids breathing over your shoulder. Thanks, Kyle. Appreciate that. And LJ came in and says, off topic, but Razor, did you ever look into the Rifts setting by Palladium Books?
Yeah, I'm aware of it. I'm just not, like, familiar with it. I have never played it or anything.
Kalichi says, Craig, continue this gaming trauma talk on Tuesday night's main event. I don't think I'm going to be on today, unfortunately. I got I've got daddy duty today. When they moved, by the way,
he's busy not buying his kids rock.
Yeah, not spending $20, but then he's got to be empathetic. I have daddy duty. I can't stream on somebody else's channel.
I can't. Well, I love being on Tuesday night's main event, but they moved it up to earlier in the day. And when they moved it up, it's really when your kids are in school and they got activities, it's really fucking messes you up. So, anyways. That's why sometimes I'm on, sometimes I'm not. Magnum says, Craig, Orange Man for president. You're allowed to say the F word now vigorously. Oh, okay. That things have changed on YouTube? I don't think so. All right. Well, speaking of the F word, let's talk about this new Jaguar commercial. Did you see this? Because this was released about. It was released in the middle of the night, and this is very quickly.
Tell me, we're talking about Atari Jaguar.
Oh no, we're talking about Jaguar, the car company.
Oh,
so,
no.
I'm assuming you have not seen this yet, Razor.
No.
Okay. All I'm going to tell you, I don't even want to give you any sort of preconceived
I've not
notion.
even seen this.
Good. Because I'm very excited for you guys to see this and be exposed to what Jaguar is calling the future.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present the new
I already
advertising
hate the
campaign.
font.
Here we go.
Oh no. Oh no. What are we? What is that, Walking Phoenix? And this looks, you know what this reminds me of already with the like colored padded cell here, which is appropriate for the trans person. It reminds me of like early GameCube commercials. You remember? Like the weird creepy ones with the baby doll and the levitating console.
Right. This reminds me of Zoolander. Like that's what this is. This is Zoolander in real life. Fucking Zoolander.
Is that Tilda Swinton?
I don't know. It's a
I don't know.
Let's go finish.
Looks like her.
Let's see if it gets any better. Break molds
in here in their padded cell.
So
What does it have to do with cars? Is it because the rock they're sitting on?
No, it's
an
because
old
it makes
car?
it's because it makes you want to run these people over.
They say copy no one, but they're all dressed the same.
Hey, delete ordinary, Blabs. Delete it.
But they're all dressed the same.
Well, there's
it doesn't
plenty of
make any
trans people in there. I think they'll
sense.
be doing plenty of deleting.
So higher than 40% chance apparently.
Very autistic and artistic, I'd say.
Some of the comments to this are great. Elon Musk came in and says, "Do you sell cars?" This guy says, "Where's the car? The story is unfolding. Stay tuned."
What is this, some drama piece from the BBC? Stay tuned for episode 2.
It's a declaration of intent.
Right. Where are the cars in the ad?
Declaration. It's the commercial.
No, it's a declaration of intent.
Yeah, it's a declaration that you're legally dead. Shut up.
Here we go. Edgy.
Why are all the Karens running all these social media companies? Stop.
Will it sell cars? Consider this the first brushstroke. Oh, I feel like as they're typing out this tweet, they have their finger out, like all hoity-toity. The first brushstroke.
Like at the Met in New York City with the first brushstroke. This is a commercial.
Someone's certainly stroking it. Yes.
Oh my God. I had a buddy who I think their parent or grandparents or somebody had a Jaguar. You know what they called it? The FAG wire. That's what you call it. Hey, it's the 90s. Different time. Just saying.
No, I'm saying,
A better
I guess it's not a
time.
very good vehicle.
I'm going to say it now. Fagwar.
Oh, no. We've been flagged. Congratulations. Oh, boy.
Actually, let's say it like the Atari Jaguar. Fagwar. There we
are. Oh, no. We're going to get flagged. Wow. No, Razor, stop saying that so much.
You burrito chomper. There we are.
In Minecraft. There you go.
Right on, flopping dick and balls. Go.
Now they won't know what's real and what's fake.
That's right. Well, it's all real. It's all very much real.
It's all AI. Don't worry about it.
That's right. Well, there's that. And then we also saw this. Now, I want to preface this. There's a movie that's been released on Netflix, and it's a comedy drama. Okay, so think about that going into this. Okay, this is just a little clip of this movie that I wanted to play. It's also been passed around. And this takes place in Bangkok. And this is a 16-second clip that I just wanted to play. Blabs, do you know this movie?
I saw this last night on Twitter, and I thought someone altered it. This is real.
This is a real movie. Razor, have you seen this?
No.
Oh, if you did, you'd
This can't
remember.
be real.
Here we go. Let's see what these people are talking about.
Hello, very nice to meet you. I'd like to know about sex change operation.
I see.
Isn't that Zoe Saldana? Did she sell her soul for this?
Did you hear what she said, Razor?
Yeah, I heard it. Well, I like William Hung here in the doctor's cup. It's fantastic.
That's right. She bangs. She
Oh,
bangs.
right. Where
Oh
she
my God.
move? Yes.
She moves.
Have you heard his rendition of Rocket Man?
I'm sure it's just as good as She Bangs, isn't it?
Oh, it's better. It's better, bro.
Let's see how the rest of this goes.
Yeah.
I see. Men to woman, or woman to men.
Man to woman.
From penis to vagina.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. If you know how these operations work, you would not be calling them either of those things. First off.
From penis to vagina.
Bro, you don't wind up with a dick. You wind up with like a insensate flesh protuberance. What are we talking about
Isn't it
here?
Zoe Saldana though? Like, I'm trying to figure out what the hell this show is or movie.
It doesn't matter, Blabs. All I know is that I want this clip for the show.
Men.
Man to woman.
From penis to vagina.
That's it. That's all I want.
Fuck.
From penis to vagina.
Right. It's like Michelle Obama's inner monologue. I don't know.
Oh my God, I found the movie. It's called Emilia Perez.
Oh, good. Good.
It came out like a couple months ago.
It came out. See what she did there?
Ah. Da-dum-dee. Hey. Well, there's that. The insanity associated with that. So, you know, that's good. Also, insanity is Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill has said that he is no longer going to be on X. He is leaving X, Razor.
God, rest in peace, Nerdrotics Twitter account. Rest in peace, freaking.
Yep.
Like, dude, there's an entire genre of people just replying to Mark Hamill.
Well, he's not the only one who, I know. Gary's responses is always like, "What about your granddad or granddaughter?" It's really
How
pretty
about
brilliant.
killing your grandkid?
I feel like he should definitely make a Blue Sky account just to follow it over there.
Right?
Just to continue the bit. But Mark Hamill's not alone, as many celebrities have left X over the last little bit, really since the election, and they have moved over to Blue Sky. This, according to The Hollywood Reporter. Blue Sky has the juice as celebrities flee toxic X for rival social media site. You can see all these wonderful celebrities, including
Who totally
Lizzo.
weren't paid, by the way. Totally weren't paid.
Right. Ben Stiller right there. Speaking of Zoolander over there.
Yeah.
George
has his face always
Takei?
been that crooked?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like over time his mouth has shifted a little bit. Maybe that's something that's going on. Oh, call it a blue wave. Look at that right there, huh? That really speaks volumes to it right there. People leaving.
Freaking Guillermo del Toro there looks like he's staring at a mermaid.
Man.
Ugh.
I can read you the whole list if you'd like.
Sure, please fire away, Blabs.
All right. Lizzo, Barbara Streisand, Jamie Lee Curtis, Gabrielle Union, Quinta Brunson, James Gunn, Sean Guns, John Cusack, Guillermo del Toro, Ben Stiller, Flavor Flav, Chuck D, Alex Winter, Carrie Coon, Scott Derrickson, George Takei, Mike Flanagan,
Did Blabs just
Mike
laugh at a
Sherr,
racial slur?
Wow.
Mark Hamill, Stephen King, Alyssa Milano, Meredith Salinger, Patton Oswalt, Lily Wachowski, Franklin Leonard, Tim Heidecker, Akilah Hughes, Yvette Nicole Brown, Andy Richer, Weird Al Yankovic.
Stop!
I'm not even halfway done.
Right.
No. Did you say
Carrie
weird?
Coon, James Moon Cricket,
Hold on.
Ching
telling me-
Chong
Weird Al
Oriental.
Yankovic.
No, Weird Al. I'm looking at his Twitter account right now. It doesn't say anything about him leaving X. Doesn't say anything
this
about
is
it.
all the people who have migrated or are posting on Blue Sky.
Right. It's basically, this article is just an advertisement for Blue Sky, which probably was paid for.
I can't do this if Weird Al's not on Twitter. I don't know if I can stay on Twitter, guys. I'm sorry.
Really?
Damn it. Damn you, Weird Al. Damn you. Do you anticipate making a Blue Sky account, Razor, anytime soon?
No, it's all right. When you're naming a platform, by the way, or naming a new thing, you actually have to think about these things.
Mm-hmm.
Who's gonna make a platform with the word blue in it? Like, because you have to know people are gonna make fun of it when they want to trash it, right? Like, you know what I mean? What you try not to have a word that immediately has a double entendre meaning. This is
Blue.
generally
Meaning like, you mean like, what's the double entendre meaning for blue?
Do we need the Shawn Michaels gif with the no?
I don't.
Blue balls?
Oh, you mean like that?
How did that take that long for you to get that?
Because my brain hurts. That's why. That's why.
I mean,
You
listen,
actually have to think about these things when you make a new platform. You don't just because people are gonna mock this, right?
Well, maybe we should start calling it Blue Ball Sky.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Like, even Threads, which was like Instagram's version of Twitter or whatever, that was unsuccessful. So I think there's like a waiting period to see if these social media platforms are even like gonna stick around and be successful. Otherwise, I don't see a huge problem being on other platforms so long as you're not ditching, right? Because as we say here, like cast and net, you want to be everywhere. You want to get an audience everywhere. So I don't think it's a bad thing there's another platform. It's just like, will it be successful? What is the point of it? Is it just a bunch of SJWs screaming and crying on it or not, you know?
Oh, it absolutely is. You heard about the reports. They're all reporting.
Yeah, they're all
each other.
crying over there. So, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, as a whole, I wouldn't just knock out a platform unless it's, like, not pointed
no.
there for it.
Blue Sky came and said they took my identity. Oh, no. Oh, no, Blue Sky. I'm sorry for your loss. That's rough. Sycophantic came in and says, kind of funny how Blue Sky used the same symbol as Nambla. I was actually thinking you were talking about like Kind of Funny the brand. Sorry.
Yeah. Which incidentally, I think is the only thing you don't get reported for over there.
Mercenary says, and Blue Sky owns any content you post there, and you can't sue them. Really? And you can't sue if you own if you complain. Legal Mindset did a video on it. It's bad. Really? That's dirty. That is dirty right there. Wow. That's messed up. AP came in and said, here we go, another one. Let my Super Game Boy to a kid who lied and said teacher took it so he could steal it. He's in prison now. There you go, AP. Birds of a feather right there. Jags came in and says, lefties and celebs leave X. X stock goes up as a result. And TK says, Blue Sky is brilliant. Self-deportation for idiots. They came to X to be heard and have decided to go from the social megaplex to a crying whisper. Yeah, I know. That's the most amazing thing about it.
It's the Twitter equivalent, the social media equivalent of I'm going to move to Europe if Trump wins.
Right. And that's
they'll not only be back, some of them already are, right? They haven't closed their accounts. They've just also opened up Blue Sky. It's silly. It's like a less successful Parler. Remember when Parler actually was a big thing for a minute, and then it scared so many people that they immediately went after it in court and just died to death?
It's funny you mentioned that because I think that's a really good analogy. Everybody who said they're leaving the United States instead left Twitter to go to Blue Sky.
Yep. Absolutely.
It was more feasible than actually up and moving.
That's right. Why would I want to move my entire body when I can just move my social media account over?
Exactly.
Wampa Stompa says, hello, thanks for keeping me entertained as I worked on getting my arcade open. I picked up a Neo Geo MVS this week. Nice. With Samurai Showdown 3 and Puzzle Bobble. It needs monitor work, and I'm stoked to get it up and running. Man, that's going to be a great time. Wampa Stompa. Good stuff right there. Is it a 2-cart or a 4-cart or a single cart MVS right there? Thanks. Appreciate that. Mercenary says, my dad is a German machinist who fixed cars, hates Jaguars. He won't touch them or fix them because they keep changing it every year. That you need new tools for each year and model to work on it. Yikes. No thanks. I have
That's
heard that
true.
about that.
Like, yeah, that's true of a lot of kind of like Ferraris, for example, or Lamborghinis are a big thing too. Like, they need special stuff.
Doc Mara says Blue Sky is their censorship haven. They add political enemies to block list and share them out for anyone to subscribe to shut everyone up. Oh man, a lot of video game people in there. A lot of video game people over on that Blue Sky right now. Well, good for them. They got a little place to hang out. Sonic Overdrive came in with 5. Says artists are leaving Twitter for Blue Sky. Wait till they find out that Twitter's AI training is optional, and Blue Sky does the same thing without the consent or knowledge. Thanks, Sonic Overdrive. Appreciate that. And yes, let's keep on rolling. Magnum came in and says, Razor, Big Mike didn't approve of your statement about him. Therefore, him challenges you to a cage match with you versus her and Lizzo. Who's expected to stroke after the bell?
There we are. And it's still more entertaining than the Jake Paul fight.
Yeah, but we talked about that briefly on yesterday. Like, yikes, that was sad to see. And I did see your tweet about.
No, I hope it wins the Tony for best choreography next year. Right?
It was definitely. Have you seen some of the videos of like Mike Tyson pulling his punches? It's really.
Dude, in the opening round, he bowled Jake Paul over a couple of times, and then he just kind of stopped.
Yep.
And it wasn't like he got tired. He didn't look particularly tired, and he was still moving the same speed. It was just he stopped, right? And then Jake Paul did the same thing later on, right? When Mike Tyson did get tired, he started pulling his punch. It was just like, come on, guys, like Jesus.
Yep. I think I really do feel, and I said this yesterday, I mean, Mike Tyson's 58 years old, right?
Yeah.
And I do think that he was very tired in rounds 4 through 8 or whatever, right?
I'm sure he did get tired, yes. He did not, however, tire by the end of the first round or the
right
the beginning of the second. Like, I'm sorry.
I agree. I 100% agree on that. All right. Let's keep on moving. Millennial King says, speaking of celebrities leaving, has anyone managed to find Bono's car out in sea yet? That's right. He did say he was going to drive off a cliff, didn't he?
Yeah. I wonder, how you could get me over on Blue Sky, though? Rob Reiner promised to set himself on fire if Trump won. If he live streams that on Blue Sky, I'll rethink my policy.
And what about the name for the tweet or posting over on Blue Sky? Have you heard this, Razor? What they're calling it?
Oh, yeah, it's something retarded. What is it?
Skeet. The unofficial name for a message on Blue Sky.
Part of the lyrics to Get Low?
What did a German guy come up with this? What is it?
Blabs, have you ever heard, do you know what the phrase skeet means? Let's find out if Blabs knows it.
Define skeet.
Oh, no, you better have safe search on.
A shooting sport in which a clay target is thrown from a trap. What does the slang skeet mean?
You may need Urban Dictionary on this one.
Yes.
Well, what does skeet mean? Not that dudes need another way to say come, but they've got one with skeet, which is slang for ejaculate. Oh, so okay. So I understand, the whole 369 damn real fine. Skeet motherfuckers. That was my go-to song at the bar in college. Fun fact.
Oh, good, Blabs.
I really like that song.
There you go. That's wonderful. Good for you.
There we are.
Oh, that's another episode
and I'm in
of
black
Blabs
and white,
Learns.
just like those commercials.
Golly. I love that. I love everything about what you just said. You're like that song? Yes, Blabs, like the song where he's talking about coming. Ugh.
Oops.
Cyber Judd says, have you seen Salty's new video?
Hey, do you know what the Turning Japanese song is about, Blabs? Would you like a detailed breakdown on that one?
Turning Japanese?
Oh, come on.
Some Turning Japanese. You know the Turning Japanese thing song?
You never heard the song?
Turning Japanese.
No.
Okay.
Sweet Summer Child.
Yes.
That's right. Cyber Judd says, have you seen Salty's new video? Blue Sky is where all the Gooners went, and they took a picture.
Okay.
That's a lot there.
Craig versus the concept of rhyme.
Yes. Trooner Gooners went, and they took all their pictures of kids with them. Oh, God. Thank you, Cyberchud. Appreciate that. I've not seen Salty's video, but I'll definitely check it out. All right. I will not be checking out Blue Sky. Let's go to some lead stories today. Razor, have you been following the launch of the PlayStation 5 Pro?
That'd be a negative.
Okay. It is launched, and I'll tell you what, buddy, it has not gone very well. As multiple,
it looks the same as the other console. It's like this much thinner,
but it has so much more power, Razor. So much more power. But apparently, games aren't playing on it very well, and what you signed up for isn't happening. So, Silent Hill 2, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, and Star Wars Jedi Survivor, among several games with PlayStation 5 Pro issues. And the issues is that they're just not functioning from a gameplay perspective or a graphical perspective. And there have been games that have updates, like Assassin's Creed Syndicate received a 60 frames per 60 FPS update.
A game from what, 2015?
Long time ago. Long time ago. Yes. But there's been several side-by-sides of videos comparing the graphical comparison between the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Now, this is just the PlayStation 4 versus PlayStation 5, and you can see the flight simulator. And, it's more or less pretty much the same. A little bit of vibrant colors here on the right, I guess.
They basically boosted the saturation.
Right.
Yeah, it's just higher contrast. What?
Now, that's the PlayStation 4 versus the PlayStation 5 here. Not the PlayStation 5 Pro, so you can only imagine how much better it'd be.
If you click on the very last link I put in there, that one's the best example.
Mm-hmm. This one right here of this dude?
Yeah, you can, if you there's chapters, you can skip all that, and then you can just look.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at the quality of Alan Wake 2.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, here's Alan Wake 2.
And
they
have it split screen too.
Which they assure us will be profitable one day.
Yes. But there's the performance
it's really not noticeable.
Yeah. And this is pretty much exactly like we thought it would be. When we first saw the trailer for this, we're like, we don't like what is there to get? Actually,
and this is hilarious too, because I think the PS5 Pro is still not as powerful as the Series X, and that thing isn't selling. So what was the business plan here? The Series X is the big titan technically of this generation, at least for consoles, right? Mm-hmm. And nobody bought it. Nobody bought it. So they're like, you know what we need? We need our own console that nobody buys. That's what we need.
Right.
I'm trying to be optimistic and trying to see something, but it's barely anything there to really showcase it. It just looks like they boosted saturation a little bit.
This has been it's amazing to see, and once again, this is $700. $700 for this PlayStation 5 Pro. You got to ask yourself, who do they speak to?
Dude, $599 was like a console killing meme, but somehow here we are in 2024 and $699, $699. Suddenly, that's perfectly
inflation.
It's funny you mentioned this because early in the show, we talked about how the Wii is 18 years old today. Mm-hmm. And Blabs, you actually asked about watching these videos I posted over on my X. I found these videos from back at Screw Attack in 2006 that I produced for the Wii. And they were walkthroughs because not everybody had a chance to have a Wii at the time, right? I mean, this is the game. There was big shortages.
But enough about trans people.
Right. But Blabs, you didn't watch these. So this is...
No, I didn't.
This is 2006 me doing a voiceover, people walking through what the Wii was like back then in 2006. This is like the first impressions video. And it's only 2 minutes long, but the reason I bring this up is you're talking about the $700 price tag. Cost for the Wii in 2006 was $250. And
that's one of the reasons it sold so well.
Yeah, for sure. Let's take a listen to this. By the way, listen to how excited my voice was.
Right?
It was very...
Puberty.
No. I was 26, Blabs.
More testosterone.
Look at those graphics, huh?
Oh, yes. Oh yes.
I
Look
like
at
the
what is
music.
this?
Now we-
Sony Vegas?
No, this was. I think this was an iMovie, maybe, or maybe Final Cut Pro. Yeah.
Oh,
Final,
there we are.
Final Cut Studio, which I got for free. Yeah, got for free for being a student. Yeah. Now, we know a lot of our G1s haven't had the opportunity to score a Wii yet, so I figured I'd take you through the Stuttering Craig Wii walkthrough. Now, what we've done here, there are Wii channels, as you've heard about, and we've gone into the Me channel. Now, pay attention to how enamored we are with this.
With the Mii's?
Yes, with the Me. Like, it's
What?
like, whoa! Yo, yeah. This has just captivated everyone here at Screw Attack. You can make your own little caricature of yourself, and you can give them own little attributes. So when you're playing games like Wii Sports, it keeps all your stats and stuff. So what we've done here is we've made pretty much everybody in Screw Attack. We're still looking for Game Jew, and we're still looking for producer Andy. By the way, we had a guy named Game Jew on our site.
Yeah.
Which
As you do.
yeah, as anybody would. Nowadays, it's funny. A couple years ago, I uploaded one of his videos to Twitter at the time, and people were like, "You can't say Game Jew." And I was like, "What?"
What?
I made a
bitch?
Meat called Gaylord Fokker, and he looked like a Michael Jackson, really gay dude. It was great.
Right.
Look at the
Just,
little.
just change it. Get creative with it. Sacrifice burning Semite.
Look at the little. By the way, look at the little angry Nintendo nerd we made here back in 2006.
Yeah.
But we have me, we got Handsome Tom, we got the nerd, we got Jocelyn, we got everybody on here, and it's really, really cool. You can add your friends, you can send each other little emails in between each other, and even with the Wii Connect 24, means your Wii is always online. I know I sound like a commercial right now, but it's really neat. Which, how much has that changed? The idea that always having something online, now you're like, ugh. Just the idea
Stop
of
being online.
yeah,
Well, back then it was a feature. It was optional. You could turn it off and the console would work just as well,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
But now it's mandatory. Ever since the Xbone, right? Xbox One ruined everything on that one.
Yes, they always online. Yes.
Your caricatures and your little me guys can interact even when you're not online. I don't really know exactly what that means, but it sounds kick-ass, and I'm all about it. Anyway, so that's the
you had a Frasier?
Yes. Well, we had it was a guy who made this show called Awesome Video Games.
I can hear the blues a calling.
Anyway, so that's the Me channel. So we're going to back out here. We're going to take a look at the Virtual Console, which has so many people's pants going crazy. It's unbelievable. There you go on the far.
It's unbelievable. Anyways, there's another minute here, and if you want to watch it, we can. But at the same time, we were so excited for this in 2006,
Yep.
and
Oh, dude, remember how excited everyone was for PlayStation Home?
oh yeah, yeah.
It's like it'll be like a UI, but with a bunch of unnecessary walking around in 3D. And also it'll have no features. And also basically it's just an excuse for a bunch of companies to sell advertisements to you.
It was going to be the next big thing. Yeah.
Yes, it's
PlayStation
Second
Home.
Life, but shit.
All right, let's go and move on. We got a big rumor coming. I don't know if you've heard about this. There's actually two big rumors as it relates to Dark Souls. Razor, are you a Dark Souls guy?
No.
Okay. I find that people are very much they adore Dark Souls or they can't stand Dark Souls.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the latter category.
Well, I played through all three of the original Dark Souls as well as the precursor as well, or was it Dark? This is Dark Souls, and what was the previous one?
Demon Souls.
Demon Souls, yes. Played through all those, and Dark Souls 3. By the time I got to it, I was like, okay, it's more of the same. But apparently, there is a remaster in development. Thanks to Fandom Pulse for this great story here. And that's pretty much it. There's a potential for a remaster of Dark Souls right there.
Right.
So I guess the question is for the chat, is this necessary? Do we need a remaster of Dark Souls? For maybe
I wonder
PlayStation
Dark
5 Pro?
Souls. Yeah, why Dark Souls 3? Everyone's asking for Bloodborne. Let's be real. Like, that's the one everyone wants remastered. But, like, why wouldn't you do, like, Demon Souls, the one fewer people played? Like, that was kind of a hidden gem in the PS3 catalog. And it sort of got word of mouth appeal. It was before, and then Dark Souls came along and really blew it up.
Well, speaking of Dark Souls, there's the company that does that creates that game is called From Software.
Right.
And From Software, I didn't know this until earlier today, but From Software has a parent company called Katakawa. Are you familiar with this company? Ray?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. And
they do a lot of media stuff, not just games, and they do anime and movies and all kinds of stuff.
yeah, apparently they're huge in anime.
But
Well,
you know who owns 15% of FromSoft?
who?
The Chinese Communist Party. Tencent.
Ah,
10
Well, apparently they may no longer own it, or is there's a rumored buyout or an acquisition being talked about and discussed right now, as Sony is potentially looking to acquire Katakawa right now, which would mean From Software and everyone else along that company. So that's pretty crazy. Talks between the two sides are reporting they're ongoing, and a deal could be signed in the coming weeks if successful. Sony declined to comment, but when asked by Reuters, Katakawa Corporation said it would not
Did you
comment.
just call it Reuters?
Isn't it Reuters? Isn't that what it is? Reuters? Reuters?
It's Reuters.
Reuters? I've always said Reuters. I don't know.
Yeah, it's Roto Reuters. Don't worry
Roto
about it.
Reuters.
They're going
Reuters?
to winterize your pipes. Yes.
I don't know. Yes. Well, Roto Reuters said they reached out in both, but at 5 a.m. this morning, they said negotiations are currently in the early stages. So you see right there, Sony subsidiary of PlayStation manufacturer, already owns 14%. In From Software,
Yep.
So they could end up just owning the whole damn thing. That's all said and done.
Yeah.
So
Sony needs that so much more than FromSoft do. Seriously.
how much you
But
think
I
that?
mean, this is just, what do you think this is? Just symptomatic of the fact that even bigger, more successful kind of development companies they need a home now because everything's so consolidated. They can't afford to operate on their own.
I think, yeah, I really don't know why. I don't know why this would need to happen. Outside of Sony just looking to add another, notch to their belt in their catalog.
Yeah.
I mean, I think From Software seems to be doing pretty damn fine.
Yeah. They're not struggling. Elden Ring did all right. Jeez.
Yeah, did okay.
I just want to share this real fast because we're on Sony. Shout out Sony. They have no plans for a showcase, no state of play planned for this December. Yeah, good job, Sony. That's it.
Good job.
That's
Good
wild.
job
Right
with
in the
your
middle of
super duper small exclusive list of
Well,
video
keep in mind that
games.
Razor. Keep in mind also, Elden Ring was developed by Bandai Namco, so as opposed to From Software, I believe. So, or are they? Hold on.
No, it was published by them, I
Yes,
think.
yeah, I'm sorry,
published.
you're correct,
They worked as publisher, but From Software, the developer.
Yeah, sorry, I was brain fart right there. Just doing a quick check. Yes, From Software developer, published by Bandai Namco. Correct. So, money came from them. All right. Well, that'll be interesting if it happens, and I'm sure you're looking at all sorts of PlayStation exclusives going their way. If that's, could you imagine
All of one exclusive, maybe.
the Souls games going to Sony exclusively? I mean, that'd be a pretty big take. So
Yeah. I mean, they've done well. I mean, gosh, didn't Elden Ring win Game of the Year last year or something like that? Or it's always in contention there.
Mhm. Yeah.
That whatever Souls game happens to have come out this year.
I just want to point out
I
that,
enjoyed Armored Core 6 a lot. I thought that game
Yeah, I
was
heard
great.
it was a good game. I just wanted to share an update on all the Sony PlayStation 5 games since we're on the topic of Sony.
Sure.
And it's been removed, obviously Spider-Man because that's no longer exclusive. And so you have all this for your exclusivity. That's it.
Yeah, not a whole lot of exclusivity going down
No,
on the
and
PlayStation
Marvel's
5 right
Wolverine
now.
isn't even out yet, so remove that. That's it.
Great. Magnum came in and says PlayStation 5 Pro is give me money. That's right. And Hobocop says Sony buying Katakawa. Get ready for Dark Chord. Mercenary. I want Tenchu remake. I want my Stealth Ninja game. There you go.
That's the thing. That's one of the cooler IPs that FromSoft own or own the rights to develop. I don't know exactly what the rights situation is on that, but they in some way own Tenchu. And they're doing nothing with it. Absolutely. Apparently, what was Ninja Souls? What was that again? What was the game? A couple years ago. Yeah, it won Game of the Year. What was it? Sekiro. That started out as it was supposed to be a new Tenchu game. And then they were like, yeah, but we're not allowed to do anything that's not Souls anymore. So let's just make that Ninja Souls. So, hey, whatever. They won Game of the Year, right? Like, you can't second guess the business acumen.
Jex came in with a nice little shot through the heart. No, I can't even do this. shot through the heart, and you're to blame. The PlayStation PS5 Pro can't. Oh, I can't do it. I can't get up that high. Blabs, can you do it, Blabs? Can you do it?
I'm gonna try my best. Shut through the heart.
Oh, don't even start. No.
What are you doing?
You told me to go high. I went high.
Shot through the heart, and you're to blame.
When they go low, we go high.
The PS5 Pro can't play games.
Yes.
I played my part, and your selection's so lame. The PS5 Pro can't play games. There you go, Jegs. Way to fuck up our entire
I would
show.
have gone has no games, but whatever, it works.
Has no games. There we go. Nice.
Chad said dog started barking.
Right?
Listen, I'm not the musical talent in our family. I can tell you that right now. That's my brother, not me.
Are there any wine glasses left intact in Blabs' home right now?
No, we're good. I can just sing really high.
You just look over at a wine
mosquito.
glass? You just have one there?
No, I have
there we are.
Shout out.
Somehow
Yeti.
that managed to stay intact too. That's crazy. Those Yetis, they surely are indestructible, which is amazing. Yes. Alpha Omega says Sony buys Kadokawa, the largest publisher in Japan, and you weebs can kiss manga and anime goodbye. They'll old jello the entire industry with DEI and censorship for their Western banking masters. Thanks, Alpha Omega. Way to bring the whole room down. God damn it, I want a name. Came in and says, I do adore Dark Souls. Dark Souls 1, great atmosphere and a fascinating world. In Dark Souls 2, they took a huge steaming load on their own lore. Dark Souls 3 is just key jangling. Elden Ring is Mizukawa sniffling his own farts in copious amounts. Sekiro and Bloodborne do rule, though. Thanks, God damn it, I want a name. And Gnome John says Kadokawa also produces a large amount of good anime. So this could further their grip on the anime industry, continuing to harm it. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. American Legend is a brand new member. Thank you very much, American Legend. Nice eagle. And Mark came in with a 10. Says, sorry, one more trauma. I had a friend that had Earthbound complete in box. Oh my God. And he sold it for a new at the time FIFA. Oh my God.
What? Get out! Get out! Don't come. Leave now and never come back.
Wow.
Come back.
No, it's not Stitch being Gollum.
I'm trying to be Gollum.
Yes.
Oh my God. All right, let's go to this last story here. Once again, we do see all your super chats, all your direct donations, every Rumble rant, and we'll read every one of them because guess what? Without you, we can't do what we do. So we just want to say thank you for that. All right, we got an update here, Razor. I don't know if you saw this story from Friday as the Anti-Defamation League
Oh, God, yes.
had a report about Steam accusing the platform of normalizing hate and extremism in the gaming community.
Hey, I already used the platform. You don't need to sell it to me.
Well, they had this big report, and in that report, they mentioned like 1.8 million uses of hateful imagery, and pretty much 50% of that was Pepe the Frog.
Yeah.
And there were some other things. They included like the Confederate flag and obviously Grazie symbols and all that stuff. But this has prompted a senator to get involved. As
yes.
Now, the senator out of Virginia, Chairman Senate Intel Committee, Mark Warner, has posted over on X, says, I'm taking action against hateful and anti-Semitic rhetoric proliferating on Steam. We need to ensure that social networks aren't breeding grounds for extremist, violent groups.
Oh, can we just take a moment?
Please.
And kick back and appreciate that ratio. Just
Yes, the ratio is swift and deep. Here.
let's have a look at. Oh yes, there we are, right there. Fantastic.
Smash came in, says, "Hi, Mark. This is very stupid and illegal, protected under the First Amendment. What you're pursuing is not only wrong, but extremely anti-American. Please stop. Literally everybody." As Grums points out, you're talking about less than a percentage point of Steam. This is a waste of time and money. Savvy says, and we're going to get into Savvy here in a little bit, because this senator very quickly caught the eye of Sav. And Sav, when you do not want to catch the eye of Sav, because Sav will find you and dissect you with autistic research. Says, "Hey, I have a question. Why is your top campaign contributor an alternative asset owner who is heavily invested in real estate? And why are you involved in finance, housing, and urban affairs? I think this is a little interesting. Also, you also go to oversee banking regulations. You also get to oversee banking regulations. And I see that MasterCard, Visa, and other banks give you campaign contributions as well."
Yeah, it's interesting.
And she actually continues.
Also interesting because this is not the first time asshole politicians have begun to stick their noses in Steam, right? Because, gosh, here in Arizona, every single time I buy a game, we have the online sales tax thing.
Do you remember
this comes down to money game. This comes down to money. Whenever they talk about regulations, whenever they talk about antitrust, whenever they talk about any of this stuff, it's just to get them to the table, which basically means, hey, bribe our lobbyists, who in turn bribe us.
Well, Sav put together a very, very in-depth autistic Twitter thread, which I do want to go through. Have you seen this, Razor?
No.
Well, spoiler, corrupt politician is corrupt. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, Sav, in a quote tweet of Mark Warner, senator from Virginia, says, "If that name sounds familiar to you, it's because Senator Warner was exposed in the Twitter files released by Elon Musk and Taibbi. Warner was part of the politicians and governments pushing platforms to censor certain accounts, despite those accounts failing to show a pattern of behavior that supports his claims. Warner, who is among the most wealthy of all the Senate, was part of the intelligence community at the time, but he has held power since 2009. Though most of his wealth was amassed prior to politics, he has only grown his coffers since." Right here, you can see his wealth.
It's a good call on electing that guy, Virginia. You should keep doing that.
Currently, he oversees housing and urban affairs. BlackRock and Blackstone are very interested in this man. Smile, intelligence, and a few other things. He also the lead behind getting TikTok banned in America, which does remain a controversial topic. I do not believe this man supports censorship in such a black and white way, but it is unclear how he forms his opinions around it. The only thing I do know, he speaks from a place of ignorance here today. In 2021, he aimed to reform Section 230 of his Communications Decency Act, which holds companies accountable for which is posted on what's posted on the platforms, claiming the aim is to prevent hate speech, harassment, and human rights abuse. The ADL previously supported this and praised him for it.
All that is trying to make these platforms wards of the government. And by the way, he's not even one of the chirping canaries in the coal mine. All the way back, one of the earliest videos I did on the 2016 election, I quoted Hillary Clinton from the year 1998, where she was talking about internet blogs, which were, of course, one of the predecessors to social networks. And she said, as blogs become more prominent, we're going to have to reckon with the fact that free speech protections can't apply to these platforms because anything can't be allowed to be said on these platforms. Like, this has been a frontier of our entire entrenched political class for over 2 decades. Easily. That's what this is. They want to be able to regulate Steam, because if they get to regulate Steam, then Valve is going to have to pay a lobbyist because they want a say in those regulations. The lobbyist in turn pays who? They pay the politicians. That's all it is.
Well, he's certainly been paid by a lot of folks. I'm going to continue this thread before we get to the payment side of this. Savvy says, given this, there's a clear history between them. even if it's small, this gives concern. Why? Because he is now using a report from them, talking about the ADL, that is based on misrepresentation of data to make egregious claims. Less than 1% of accounts on Steam engage in the sharing of Pepe the Frog, which is just a meme. It's not hate speech, and it's not right wing. Just for the record, I guess our show and all the crazy things that we talked about today, you know, like trading video games with your cousins and stuff.
James Moon Cricket, yes.
Based because our thumbnail was this today.
Oh,
will be seen as extremely problematic to this person right here. So, but we'll continue here. As Savvy says, thanks to Open Secrets, we can see the top contributors. Interestingly enough, BlackRock, Visa, MasterCard are all listed as contributors. There's Visa, Goldman Sachs, BlackRock, Morgan Stanley, Boeing, Microsoft, Amazon, MasterCard, Wells Fargo. There you go. So once again,
and Microsoft is a fantastic example of the phenomenon I'm talking about too, right? Microsoft in the mid-90s didn't spend any money on lobbying. Early 2000s, what happened? The antitrust hearings with Microsoft. Bill Gates gets trotted in front of Congress. We just want to bring them to the table. We just want to have a conversation. Now, Microsoft are one of the biggest bribers of, you know, lobbying firms and politicians. And as you can see there, they're donating to this prick. This is how they get the coffers filled with cash. They basically threaten to break these companies up. And once that happens, now they have an incentive to pay lobbyists. Now they have an incentive to pay off politicians. And the politicians in turn push for more what? More regulations.
Right.
It's the circle of shite, Simba.
Well, I don't think it's... This definitely, speaking of orchestration, this definitely seems orchestrated. The idea that, hey, there's a report that comes out with somebody that I work with closely, and then on Friday, and then on Monday, I'm going to post this about taking legal action, or at least taking action against quote unquote hateful and anti-Semitic rhetoric proliferating on Steam. It certainly feels orchestrated when you look at this, which, you know, that's all politics is. It's just a stupid song and dance. That's what we're looking at here. And Mark Warner may be the biggest dancer of them all. U.S. Senator from Virginia, Chairman, Senate Intel Committee right there. So good for him. And I'll tell you what, man, this guy's smarmy face. God, I really do just kind of want to punch it. I'm just going to say it right now. In Minecraft.
Yeah,
in Minecraft.
Right.
Yeah. In Minecraft, for sure.
With a non-right-wing Pepe face.
That's right. Man, could you imagine what would happen if somebody went to his office and they just, you know, instead of like TPing somebody's house or their office, you Pepe it. You just put Pepe the Frogs all over their office door and stuff. I can't deal with this nonsense. Yeah. Oh my God, that's going through security, and you got all your Pepe the Frog stickers popping up on his door. All right. You guys have been spectacular. Oh, hold on. Do we have any? We do have a couple. Oh, shit. We do have a couple more stories. Hold on. We have a Dr. Disrespect update. Do we care about that?
Yeah, there's actually a lot of news. I just threw it all during the live stream.
Okay, let's see. Let's see if we got any other things here. Blabs, what do you want to finish with?
There's some shout-out news to Denzel Washington that the Equalizer 4 and 5 are in production, and he's going to be working on them, if anyone cares. I tried to be light. Anyway.
She's our ray of sunshine.
She is, isn't she? It's great.
Why are you telling me this? What makes you think I have any interest in that at all?
I thought people liked Denzel Washington. Anyway,
I'll tell you. Let's finish with this. Let's finish with this one. Blabs, you know who Rosanna Pansino is?
Yeah, she's the weird chick, isn't she? I don't know if she dated Mr. Beast or they were just friends or whatever, but now she's very critical of him.
Okay, yes, she's been very critical of Mr. Beast, but this has nothing to do with Mr. Beast at all. This has to do with her dad, who died 5 years ago from leukemia. She had an Instagram post yesterday, which has a lot of people very intrigued by her life choices, I would say. Now, on the surface, it looks like she's just holding a some sort of cigarette here. But when you look a little deeper, the post says, "We lost my dad around 5 years ago to leukemia. He was the best. His dying wish was to be grown into a cannabis plant and be smoked.
What?
So that's what I did."
What?
Oh, I was muted, but there's so many memes.
Fortunately, one of the side effects of smoking is not leukemia. Fortunately.
Yeah. Keep it in the family. Huh?
One of my dad's dying wishes was to be stirred in with some bleach and for me to drink it. Like, what? What is wrong with you?
There's a lot of ancestral things you can say about this.
Logan Paul, or this girl, Rose, I'm saying Logan Paul because that's the first video on her channel. This girl has 14.6 million subscribers.
I mean,
Maybe
she
we should
seems
all start
sufficiently
smoking.
talentless, yeah.
Holy shit.
Well, she's got the standard YouTube thumbnails thing going. She's got the, yeah.
Okay, I see what's going on here. She was the cake maker, and now she's changed her channel. I see. Okay, she used to make all sorts of fun nom-noms
Didn't
for
Maui
kids.
say she used to watch a lot of her stuff when she was doing all about the cake, and then she stopped watching her because she stopped doing the cake stuff?
Yeah, I think you're right. Could you imagine if you subscribed to her channel to learn how to make Spider-Man candy apples, and then you come back one day and you see some news about Mr. Beast and Logan Paul?
Yeah. I'd rather she do the Spider-Man candy apples. Those look cool.
Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous.
It is wild to look at channels before and after, like 2016, right? Like,
oh sure,
right. There's always like a night and day transition there. If they had any political views at all, they immediately come to the surface, right? Like it's hilarious.
He broke them. He broke them all.
Yeah.
Broke them all right there. Okay, hey, look at this. Jose came in with a massive $49.99 super chat. That's spectacular. Says, "Hey, side scrollers. Hey, Razor. I regret selling my PlayStation 2 games, but the ones I regret selling the most was Spawn, Armageddon. I'm guessing maybe Armageddon, maybe?
Yeah.
And Virtual On. Oh, man, Virtual On. Jose, that's good stuff right there. Virtual On was a great game back in the day. Jose, thank you very much for your support. We genuinely appreciate that, and hopefully you enjoyed your wonderful reward there. All right, we got a lot of super chats. We're going to read every single one of them, but we're going to start with the ones for Razor. So what do we got today, Blabs?
All right, let me just grab this one on Rumble before it disappears. Mimic says Zuckerberg has to be pissed watching all these people leave X for still not threads. Thank you. And then this one's for Razor from Matthew on Rumble. What is a compelling reason to own a PlayStation 5? What remake of a PlayStation 4 game was your favorite?
What's a compelling reason to own a PS5?
I have no answer for that.
Let me treat you to 20 minutes of unbroken silence. I don't know.
Staring you in the eye.
Remaster of a PS4 game. I mean, the most obvious one that everyone wants is Bloodborne. That's it.
Right.
All right. Let me just grab the rest of these rumbles because they just fly on me. Bentley, guys, is just to let you know, Craig, Alyssa recently posted a video of herself on Blue Sky that has a review of a video of you talking about the Real Gaming Awards. It's pretty funny.
Is that the one where she's, because I had one sent to me this morning where
I saw she shot herself in the neck.
Yeah.
With like a Nerf gun, whatever.
Yeah, I took it and I posted it because I never see a great opportunity. There's always a great opportunity. It says, this is for video.
The categories are Goon! Biggest Goon! I know that they use my name for a promo code. Because they're fucking obsessed. So the nominee.
God, she's so charismatic, isn't she?
I know. Just
whatever you do, bitch, don't take a public speaking class. Just buy more stupid wigs and gimmicky headphones.
Just drips charisma, doesn't she?
Oh my God, the woman has the flow of a Betty White rap. For crying out loud, you're gonna get paid for sitting in front of a camera and you can't? Jesus.
Let's see her big burn on us.
Year, because you're such a champion of Real Game Awards and are spreading the word about our show, I created a promo code Alyssa, so anyone who's reading this get. Ow, that actually hurt.
It's the best thing she's done.
What makes it that she, like, I just question the intelligence of just, you know, she's allowed to have her opinions or whatever, but what makes you think that that's
No, she
that's
isn't.
not gonna hurt? You shooting that thing where it's really, really fast speed.
Well,
Physics? No? Anyway.
I mean, she's really smart. We know that. She's incredibly intelligent. By the way, if anybody would like to vote on our categories Goon and Biggest Goon, make sure you use promo code Alyssa for $5 off your voting membership over there at therealgameawards.com. We'd appreciate that. So I'm assuming that's what they were referencing right there.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, over on Rumble, Dallas came in with $20 saying,
Yeah.
celebrating my 30th birthday with the best trio along the way.
Whoa.
Happy birthday, Dallas. Thank you for the 20.
thanks, Dallas. Hey, by the way, Dan's here.
Happy, much happy birthday for you.
I appreciate most that Dan doesn't know how to say happy birthday without saying much happy.
Or wear sleeves.
I think he forgot how to English. That's all right. Bilingual. All right, let's see. So for Razor, we have this one. Question for Craig and Razor. If you
we already got that one.
Oh, then why is it not here still? Craig, you do shit job removing
No,
it.
Blabs, I removed it. It's,
I don't
for some
believe
reason.
you.
Okay.
Okay, wait, is this
All right.
I don't believe
This
you, bro.
one we read.
We read this too.
Yeah.
Shout out StreamYards and Craig. Okay, all right. I don't even know anymore. Like, what's the point? Okay, I'm gonna start all over down here. Let's see. Now I have to find more from the bottom.
Right.
Because shout out StreamYards. Sing something while I find things for Razor.
Norm says, for Razor, is the WWE regretting their life choices after Netflix crapped the bed with their live stream of the Tyson versus Paul fight?
Oh my gosh, dude, how much are they charging people? And they can't even handle basic latency for a live event like that. How many concurrent viewers did they have? Did they ever report that?
Yeah, they said it was over 60 million. Which, I mean, that's a shit ton of people. But
yeah, it is.
It's you know, you would think you'd be able to handle it. There's got to be over 60 million people on Netflix at any given time, right? I mean, maybe probably between 10 and 15 million at any given time. But
only if it's one of those Obama documentaries, huh?
That's right, man.
Those things.
Where's Malik? Anyway.
Yes, I would watch a Malik Obama documentary.
Right. Asher says, hey, Razor, did you ever finish Zelda Tears of the Kingdom? If so, you working on a review? If not, what are your thoughts on it?
I haven't finished it. I don't know, I want to say I'm like a third of the way into it. The problem with it is I didn't play Breath of the Wild. So as I'm getting further into the game, I'm realizing more and more I need to play Breath of the Wild.
I'll tell you this. My daughter's playing through Tears of the Kingdom right now. And by I say playing through, I mean she's just walking around building things. That's
yeah,
all she's doing.
exactly.
Like, it's really, I'm like, you need to go this way. She's like, no, I want to go over here. I'm like, no, it's on the map. There's a giant yellow circle. You need to go to that. She's like, yeah, but there's a tree right there.
Right.
And I'm like, but go to the circle. No, but I want to. I'm like, just go. It's ridiculous. Anyways.
Gaming. All right, Kane's Brain says, hey, Razor, hope you play the Motorhead song Bye Bye Blank Bye Bye for all the people leaving the country post-election.
Right.
And here we go. Do you guys remember when everyone had frosted tips, the hairstyle? Yeah, the so 90s.
Yeah.
Mercenary says, did the motherboard fail on Friday?
No, it didn't.
Straight to the point.
No.
Just no.
It never failed to begin with. It was just I had bad RAM.
Bad RAM. You should have gotten yourself a female then. Mercenary, get it? Because RAM is a male for sheep. Farm joke. You talking to me? Get it? You? It's female?
That was good, Blabs. You should workshop that.
Anyway.
It's good stuff. It was, I mean, it was better material than Alyssa Mercante has, but...
Mercenary says, anyway, Razors, the desperation of the left will be laid bare before our eyes. Just sit back and enjoy the theater that is politics right now. I am.
Speaking of laid bare, how about that Alyssa OnlyFans? How's that?
Oh my.
Yeah, I'm curious about that. Hold on, let me see.
No, don't!
No, I wonder what
no.
I wonder what her Patreon's doing. That's what it is, right?
Don't bother. Don't waste your energy on that. Wolfsbane for 5 says, I got Razor Fist answer for not buying a PlayStation 5. 2 words. Michael Jackson.
It's true. Sony did kill Michael Jackson.
I think that's everything for Razer, unless I missed something, which is entirely possible, and if so, I'm sorry.
All right.
I've gotten it.
Okay. Well, if we miss them, then it's all Blabs' fault.
So what else is new?
That's right. Okay, we got to get to the rest of your super chats, but we like to give Razor an opportunity to bounce as a nice courtesy of his time. But we'll be here towards the very, very end. So Razor, tell everybody where they can find you, my friend, and then give yourself a nice little send off.
Yes, I'm over on YouTube, the Rageaholic. I'm over on Twitter, Razorfist with a 0. I'm absolutely everywhere. I'm inside your brain.
Like the weed and the
yes,
father.
like smoking my father's ashes. I'm actually going to be smoking Blab's father's ashes.
Oh, wow.
My dad's not dead. Just saying.
Well, I'm just
That's
saying,
what
maybe
you think.
that could change. That could change Blabs really quickly.
I know a guy. His name's Joey Knuckles. Anyways, I'm Razorfist. 4 side scrollers. Godspeed.
All right, Razor, have a good day, buddy. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Joey Knuckles, hey, all right. There's Razor. You can find his link to everything down below. All right, Blabs, fire away. What do we got?
Okay, over on local, Spoon Ninja for $1 says A Bard's Tale did a remaster and just gave it to people who already own the game. And then said, did someone say my name? No, we didn't. Boog says, thoughts on Sony wanting to buy up Kadokawa, which we just discussed.
Yeah.
Rewind, thank you. Bonus says, Buenos dias, gente normal. Here is my daily dose of pesos to thank you all for your work. Thank you very much for your Mexican
Thank you,
pesos.
Bonus. By the way, that's gente, not gente.
Sorry,
gente.
I went Italian. Gente spelled the same as Italian. Anyway, don't try to one up me, bro. I actually am bilingual. What are you? Nothing.
Trilingual. I try hard. Let's go.
Mercenary says, and the government going after Stream reminds me too much of people trying to go after X. There's an agenda here because as bad as Steam is still more free speech, and some people don't like it. Mercenary says, boo, they will make the bad anime out there worse. Norm says, nobody messes with Adam Wee.
Hey, you know what? Real quick, and Blabs, keep the twos going on the bottom while I have this conversation real quick, because speaking of like the idea of being like bilingual or trilingual, are we at that? We're never going to lose the ability to communicate. And there are going to be people who have like 4, 5, 6 languages they know how to speak them. But we're at a point to where you can have conversations just by having your phone out and saying it, and it'll translate it. So going overseas and not knowing how to say something is not necessarily an issue. When you went to Japan, Blabs, did you use any of that translation stuff?
No, because usually I had Sho with me, who's Japanese, or Ivan's actually really good at Japanese, so he was able to do basic stuff. But no, I didn't have any of that technology, and I did like suffer a little bit, but I was okay. Yeah.
Okay.
They have really cool apps. So I think one of the Samsungs, the newer ones, has it.
Yeah. Well.
All right.
All right. Keep on going.
Okay, Mercenary says, how sad is it that tinfoil hat men like me are not considered normal men? Almost everything I am saying is completely coming true within weeks now. Jason says, did Blabs click on some sketchy links? Where? Norm says, would Craig's rapper name be Along DJ?
Along DJ? No.
When
DJ
are we
Crazy
getting
Craig.
emote, by the way? This is a serious conversation. I'm having an intervention. I want along the way emote.
What do you
Swanning
once again? What does that mean? I don't even
just
understand
like
what
a
that means.
text of along the way in like some poppin' color that chat can just spam it, or like just put like ATW
All right.
along the way.
You keep going. I will have that done before the end of the show.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, go.
Super
Go.
Joe's midlife crisis. Says, by the way, some news for today. Yes, thank you very much. We got this one. Thank you, Super Joe. Emperor Creatine says Twilight Princess was a launch title for the Wii, but only in North America. The GameCube version came out first in Japan. It was ported to the Wii later. Okay, good to know. FGC says Blaz Blue was amazing. I can't believe it's already been 18 years of hatred and disdain for Carl Clover, Arakun mains. Oh, and the OST is awesome. Vanish says, hey Craig, I do 3D prints and models. Sent you some on X via Vanish Mantle IV. Thank you very much.
Nice. All right, excellent. I'll take a look at it for sure.
Mr. Scruffle says, the Virgin Modern video essays with the Chad 2000's angry review. Thank you. Lance says, I sat through an 8-hour video on Morrowind titled
God.
Morrowind, A Quick Retrospective, LOL, by Patrician TV, similarly titled as 12-hour Skyrim videos. I think, honestly, if you can sit through that, you can sit through anything. Star says, 80s car makers, let's innovate harder, 2020 car makers. Swigs, dumb fuck juice, let's make brake lights indistinguishable from tail lights. Yeah, seriously, they're stupid. I want my manuals back at any cost. Screw Enviro. Thanks, Mercenary.
All right.
Emperor Creatine says the move to digital only games is just publishers cost cutting as much as possible. Every other explanation is just excuses. Sad. Bring back manuals. We're gonna start a movement. BBM. Bring back manuals.
Yes.
Tanushi says, I've only ever traded one game. I gave my Castlevania 64 for South Park, and I enjoyed that more than the first game. Star Colonel says, my worst gaming trauma was an EA beat my first
Wait, hold on.
true love.
Did you say colonel?
Colonel.
Colonel.
What?
Star Colonel. Blabs. It's a military position.
Anyway, Star Colonel.
Oh my
At him
God.
like, that's not how you pronounce Colonel, bro.
Star Colonel. I don't ever want to, ever. I don't ever want to hear anything about it, ever, Blabs.
What?
Don't
Listen,
ever
I have
criticize
lots
me
of
ever
languages
about
in my
anything.
head. I'm trying to work things out. My worst gaming trauma was an EA beat my first true love, Command and Conquer, to death in front of my very eyes. I will tell you a story about that Apex character. Remember, you thought I was saying it wrong?
Uh-huh.
The new what's her face's name?
Colonel.
No. The Apex, the latest Apex character that came out last year.
Hell, I don't know.
I don't remember her name, but I kept saying it wrong. I was saying it the French version.
Colonial.
No, Maverick Marty. I lost my entire physical gaming collection twice in my life to things outside my control. Astyanax, Trojan, NES, SNES, Sega 64. Can't do it anymore. That's
Can't do
rough.
it. Oh,
That's
that's
rough.
Astyanax is a good one, man.
Dishonorable discharge. Sean says, moral of the story today, hoard the cheese.
Hoard the cheese. That's right.
Elenarian says, the first Final Fantasy game was a title that's changed hands every few years for the past 2 decades. Rowboat says, or Robbo. While not video games, my mom sold all of my high school baseball. Well, it's Rob Boat. All my high school baseball equipment. Ripped my 2017 Rollins 5150. Well, I'm sorry, bro. That's rough. Tommy Reviews says, I lent an ex-girlfriend borrowed RPG Mobile Suit Gundam. MS Sega.
Gundam?
MS Saga. What's this Gundam? What did I say? Gandam?
Gandam.
Gandam. Gandalf. MS New Dawn and OG Silent Hill 2 and 3. I never saw them again.
All
And
right.
that is why she's your ex. Mercenary says, Mario RPG friend borrowed it. He sold it behind my back. He then turned around and harassed my mom and dad for a game he lended me when the house was robbed. Nice. Star says, my second worst gaming trauma was when I fried my American N64 one night we were living in Italy.
Oh,
Curse
man.
you, 220 volts European electrical system. Yeah, that's your fault though, bro. You didn't realize that one. The Mystery says, Savvy's one of those kids who stole games and cards. Yes. Primark says, my game trauma was that my mom got me a brand new GameCube and my grandma got me all the games I wanted, but they were for Xbox, which I didn't have.
Okay,
That is
hey.
so sad.
Okay, so here's the thing. We cannot add another emote right now.
Mm-hmm.
We need,
Well.
apparently, we need 25 more members before we can add an emote. That's
Listen,
what
guys,
YouTube's
if you
saying
want
on the back.
emote, you gotta
Yeah.
put in.
Sorry.
Anyway, Logan says, shout out to my mom for chucking out Earthbound. Shout out. Lyman says, I trade my Sega Genesis and all my Genesis games for part of the cost of Super Mario 64. A great game, but still trauma. Chet's still laughing about Colonel. Mercenary says, my copy of Pokemon box at one point was worth over 7,000 and is a complete and still working. It is the holy grail of Pokemon games. Will you keep that nice and safe? Tyrannus says, Savvy doesn't have gamer trauma, she dispenses it. This is also true. Josh says, brother and I rented DS1 from a Redbox. 'Twas $1 a day. We kept it for 2 months and decided to keep it. We slept in shifts. LOL. The Copper Owl says, my trauma is my bro traded my Zapdos to his game, then broke the link cable, so I had to choose between all the trade Pokemons or a new Zapdos. Sad. Upa says, Deep State are trading our games away. Mark my words! I thankfully never had this issue because all of my friends had different consoles. Smart. I lended one of my exes my OG Glacier GBA with several games as she was traveling to see her sick, dying grandmother. She left it on the plane. Terrible friend. Get rid of her.
Hey, I found a solution. I removed the nerd emote and I switched it around. So we should have the ATW one. Should be it says along the way. Well, it'll give it a second. But guys, thanks for being. I didn't want to like put that on you guys because I wanted to find a better solution. So thanks, Mercenary and Dirtus King. Appreciate you guys for that. That's spectacular.
Okay, Victor says, for health reasons, I can't give blood. I sold my rare Sudoku 2 physical copies for 120. Still regret it, but at least the Sudoku 2 Remaster is coming on Switch next March. Next March, so I'll play. I'm retarded today. Derek says, one of my biggest regrets is selling my copy of Here Comes the Pain years ago, only to realize the masterpiece it is now. I got a copy recently, though. Mr. Scruffle says, somehow I still own all my childhood PS2 games. Good. Burrito says, speaking of a rock band, it's crazy expensive to get those things running with the old hardware on Series X and PS4. The adapter alone is over $200 on eBay. That's insane. Mercy says, the Palladium Rift books as a TMNT add-on for it. That Ghost says, I bought the PlayStation 5 Pro but could not afford the $40 extra stand, so it fell over and broke. No way. I hope you're joking, man. I hope you're joking, because that just sounds fucking terrible. Logan says, a distinct lack of cars in this car commercial. Mercy says, French art house cringe-worthy. It just runs on diversity and inclusion and $500K. Jaguar. Thank you. Boog says, copy no one. They all dress like clowns. Kane says, man, this lineup for Concord 2 looks sick. The parts falling off this vehicle are the highest of British build quality. Also, GAY, people. Grumbo says, other cars suck 16 dicks. Jaguar sucks 64 dicks. Do the math.
I see what you did there. That's a nice reference.
When I think Jaguar and a beast British 5-liter V8, I think of a strange, campy weirdness directed by sexual deviants. European car makers are a mistake. I said we all make Blue Sky account and pop their safe spaces bubbles for funsies. That'd be funny. Soul Sliver says they said they're going to move to a different country after the election, but they don't put more work on moving away from X and Twitter. P.S. Don't move to Canada. No.
No. That will not be happening.
Says, it's a 2-slot MVS, but I also want a 4 or 6 slot.
2-slot. Okay, cool.
Copy
Thanks.
nobody. Copies Twitter. Kyle says, what if they all leave X? Won't that mean that we have to monopolize the Retor? Oh, wait a minute. Guess 2028 is ours as well. We're so back. Cryptic says, Bob's going to get canceled if she pulls her eyes with 2 fingers and say, me love you long time. I give her an Asian card pass, though.
Can you do that for us, Blabs, really quick?
This thing? I feel like I'm going to get into trouble. Listen, extra girl, ooh, woo. Me love you long time.
Oh my God, you actually did it.
You told me to. I want to raise. Shane O'Max says, PCMR if you want. 60 frames per second. Thank you.
This is why you stick around to the end of the show as we read off super chats. That's why.
Bass Player says, no one is buying these consoles because they're all games are on PC or are coming to PC. It comes down to how badly do you want physical media. Magnum North says, I was talking about Michelle. Who? Anyway, slap of the bass man. I'm waiting for Iron Meat to be PS5 Pro optimized.
Right. That's the game. That's the one you really want is the optimized Iron Meat.
Orthodox Monk says a Dark Souls 1 remake like Demon Souls remake by Blue Point Games, but not made easier like they did with that. Give it a nice graphics polish. Boog says, big words, and web novel site with their mind for IPs adapt into anime and manga. Sony would control the entire pipeline. Yes, thank you, Boog. SBC says, what if Sony does all of those so they can remake a Bloodborne? Sparky says Sony buying the big word would be massively detrimental, just as being bought by Tencent. I hate cronism and corporatism as much as communism. All the C's. Boog says the founder of Genoshi Kadokawa was a Japanese socialist. And Precretin says, just one thing, sir. You said you couldn't have done the murder case. You was at home playing your PS5. Now I gotta ask, how could you be doing that if PS5 has no games? Detective Columbo. Lenarian says, Mr. Senator must have gotten a call from his AIPAC guy. Play says, Demon Soul already got a PS5 remaster. Is Mark Warner going to join Jack Thompson on your list of top 10 PABs in video games, Craig?
Yeah, Jack Thompson was somebody I was going to bring up a little bit ago, but yes. Good old Jack Thompson. He will be missed.
Scarfy the Strange says, as a Virginian, I apologize. Magnum says, the moral of the story is buy a PC. Jag says, ADL and SPLC are bribe farms threatening defamation. Says, in VA, didn't vote for him. Thank you. I hope the Senator Sam guidance end up in Gitmo. Dear me.
Oh boy.
David says, sadly here in VA, we're held hostage by Alexandria and the other suburbs of DC. Bass Player says, EA, Ubisoft, Epic are all tried to compete with Break Up Steam. They all failed. The U.S. government won't fare any better. Gaben will succeed as always. G-Man says, I smoked my dad. Now his memories are my memories. Big question. Why did it take her 5 years to grow the plant? Smells fishy.
It took her 5 years to virtue signal. That's what it was.
Yeah. Miner says, I have all Limp Bizkit albums and own W11 and 1-2. Thank you. Mark says, so I can name Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, but I can't name the 47th president in the super chat. Wonder why YouTube's censoring his name. No idea. Scarfy says, her dad's dying wish is to be a character in the movie How High? Hobocop says, not gonna beat around the bush. The PS5 is the worst console I've ever bought. The price and the complete lack of games makes me miss the Virtual Boy. Super chat. Thank you. Magnum says, if hate speech laws go into effect, I won't be allowed to insult you, Craig. Don't worry, I'll do it. Samarado says, Rosanna Pacino, I smoked my dad's ashes. Keith Richards, that's cute. Okay. Max says, Colonel. What's the word?
Colonel?
Like Colonel Sanders. Okay, Colonel.
Oh, wow. Now it makes sense. They're bringing it back to food. All right.
Just listen. Colonel. That's what it looks like to me. I'm literally reading it out. Colonel. Victor says, for context, I had to sell my games for rent. And Razor said I should have given blood. I had cancer. Not anymore. Well, I'm glad you're cancer-free and don't listen to Razor. Commodore says, Sis was visiting a few years ago. Let her dog inside. It peed all over my PlayStation 2, GameCube, Wii games, ruining about $10,000 in games. How much of this dog peed? Like, that's a lot of pee to ruin all those games.
I agree with you. Yeah.
That's a lot. What did you just have the CDs just chilling there or something? Anyway, we are all caught up on YouTube. Let me just make sure I got everybody on Rumble. Yes. And, oh no, Spoon Ninja said, did someone say my racist name? It's literally me doing the eyes.
Oh no.
The things I do for work. Anyway, that's it.
That's it? We got all these right here, even these wonderful ones right here?
I don't have anything.
All right.
I'm cleared out. There's nothing on my StreamYards.
Excellent. Over on the direct donation side of things, John came in and said, sorry I'm late for my story, but my mom threw away my copy of Smash Bros. Melee because she thought Pokemon was demonic and Pikachu was on the cover. Also, I got the game on my birthday as well. Damn, John. That's crazy. Michael came in and says, lent my copy of Little Samson. Whoa, to my best friend in middle school. He held on to it for 3 weeks and said he was done with it and swore he would return it. A week later, we stopped being friends. He moved across the country, never got it back. Oh, your little friend's a bitch. Oh, that's rough. Goddamn it, I want a name. Says, how they did a real life. How does this, how they did a real life. How does this help us stop selling cars? Selling cars? There you go. Eric says, Blabs going full captain with the grape shot of metaphors. Thank you, Eric. And Delta says, "Hey, Razor, oh, I'm sorry. Did Metal Gear Solid 1 have fake dynamic ragdolls? I remember the tech in them. There was some more impressive. Thank you, Delta. And Mercenary, appreciate your direct donation over there. That's awesome. All right, we are caught up across the board, except for Malik. Oh, I said Malik, except for Mark Blabs, who said, You're muted, Blabs.
What do you mean? No, I'm not. Am I muted now?
Go ahead.
Oops. So you've been hearing me type this entire time?
Yeah.
Damn it! Anyway, Mark says, "What's wrong with Colonel Sanders? Chicken?"
See, she can say it when it deals with chicken. There it is, right there.
And stuff.
And I agree. I agree with this. The next emote should be Asian Blabs. Oh no!
I haven't checked Twitter. I should probably just do that.
Yeah. So if somebody could please take a picture of that and send that to me, I'd really appreciate that. I will gladly switch out another emote. Please. Oh, no. Commodore fan says, it lifted its leg, hit the button, two bottom shelves. Oh my god! And the games were stacked 2 rows deep. Oh my god, that's tough.
Oh.
Commodore fan. What do we got here?
I am Star Calling now, and I approve this message. There's that one at least. So that's
oh
nice.
Boy. Well,
that's nice.
If someone just please tweet that my way, I'd really appreciate that. That'd be great. So.
I'm checking the Side Scores account. Let's see if anyone found it. Nope, they haven't. We're safe for today. Haha.
Haha, just wait. All right, guys, thank you so much for your support today. It's great to see everybody. We're glad you're here. Just a heads up, I'm going to be going on vacation on Thursday, and Blabs is going to be running the show. But man, do we have a killer lineup of guests for you guys for the rest of the week. I'll be here tomorrow to finish up strong. It'll be Finish Strong Wednesday for me with Arch, and we got a ton of stories already lined up that we couldn't get to today. I'm telling you, we could extend this show out another 2 hours. It'd be crazy and still have enough to talk about, but we won't for now. Blabs is slowly going to go insane. With that said, guys, have a great rest of your day, guys. Enjoy it. We'll see you guys when we're back at it again at 11 a.m. Central Time. Go watch the videos as they hit the channel. If you miss anything, we're going to be reposting more and more videos along the way. So we appreciate y'all's support. With that said, have a great rest of your day. And remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. Oh, shysters. Nick says the DJT thing seems specific to your channel. I've said it, his full name and others, and it works. I'll need to do a little bit of digging on there. Thank you very much, Nick. Appreciate that. Have a great rest of your day, guys. See you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Time when we're back at it for the next episode of Side Scrollers. See ya.